We are live. We are live. We are live. My name is Tyrone Irvin, and this is Soapbox Heroes. Today, we are going to have a wonderful, wonderful discussion for you guys today. This discussion derived with some early morning inbox conversation. You know the early morning inbox conversation when you guys get to talking about life and things going on. And so this is how this started. We had some conversations, some very informative conversations, some things that we're going to build on and talk about. Again, if you guys get a chance, hit the subscribe button, share this as many times as possible. This is something that you need to know, you want to be a part of. Today's discussion is going to be, do blacks need our own political party? We're talking about voter blocks. We're going to talk about socialism. And we also going to throw Uncle Bernie in there too, since we're talking about all those things. And so here, let me go ahead and introduce everybody. Greeland, you're the biggest on my screen. You want to take a second and introduce yourself? Let everybody know who you are.
Yes, sir. My name is Greeland Field. I'm out of California. Not too far from Mr. Kelly, I would say. He's another Californian. And that's pretty much it for the most part.
Okay, Greeland from California. Nice to have you, Greeland.
Yes,
And look, we're on YouTube, so you don't got to worry about Facebook regelling you because
Man, they've been killing me.
Yeah,
they won't kill me for good. They like to have me around as a punching bag, you know.
Stop talking about people's mamas.
They like it. Robert says, "Stop talking about people, mama." All right, Robert, go ahead and introduce yourself, Robert. Let everybody know who you are, the friend of the people.
That's right, Robert Kelly, friend of the people from Southern California, here to dispel myths, rumors. I'm basically call me the Black Mythbusters of Southern California.
Oh boy,
the Black Mythbusters of Southern California. Okay, I'm gonna call you that too. What'd you say, Greeland?
That's a big title.
That's a huge title. That is a big title.
Yes, we can live up to it.
Yeah. Hey, we gonna see. And then next, Professor, you want to take a second and introduce yourself?
Peace and blessings, family. I'm Salik Webb L, community advocate, also Aboriginal jurist from the Shiamuru Tribal Government. And I'm here to build with my brothers on this show today, brother. Peace.
That's right.
Peace, Professor. I love it when the professor get on. Professor get loose and get to going. All right. Prince, you want to take a second and introduce yourself and let everybody know about meme knowledge too?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am Prince Hayes, coming from Long Beach, California. Meme knowledge is the name of the show. Trying to get it up and running. I need some help from my man's right here, Tyrone, to help me out. But it's basically just political commentary and talking about social things, things in the media. But hopefully we can get it up and going within the next month or so, and we have more content for y'all.
Okay, yeah. And Prince always has good topics. He got a couple shows up. If you want to go over to Facebook and check him out, it's Prince Hayes, the way it's spelled on his screen. And so, we're going to go ahead and get into it. And like I said, this derived earlier today, and I'm glad the conversation is here because it's something that we need to talk about. I'll go ahead and I'm going to start with you, Robert. Before we started, we said, who gonna take the first question? And, I like to pick on Robert. I like so Robert, do we need our own political party, and is it possible? And we could get into it from there.
Do blacks need their own political party? I never want to discourage anybody from starting a political party if that's what they feel, because it's about exercising your rights as an American. Do we need one? I don't think we do. The reason being is because there are different ways to flex our power to make. Right now, let's keep it real. America is a two-party system. The Democratic Republic of America is a two-party system, and we found that starting third parties so far have been wildly unsuccessful. And I think that we have a better chance by working within the parameters of the parties that are currently there, learning with political acumen to apply pressure in a way that allows a response from either a political party or a grassroots grassroots movements inside of political parties. One good example of that that's going on right now is if you look at the Democratic Party is going through a schism. There's a side of the establishment Democrats, and then is the progressive Democrats. And the progressive Democrats are making big time gains, as we saw with the blue wave in 2018. Some of those things that they've done have been from starting grassroots within the Democratic Party, primarying some of the Democratic stronghold and mainstays that were in there and ousting those people from office, a la Ocasio-Cortez and other Congress people that did that in 2018. Same ability to do so if we learn how to apply pressure and use grassroots movements and political activism. So.
Okay, let me jump over to you, Greenland. I heard you go and kind of look to the left. What do you think?
You know, that gentleman talking right there, I don't know where he's been getting his information from. But first of all, let me correct you. Whenever you say progressive, you need to really know what that means. You said progressive. Progressive is just, you said schism. It's schizophrenic. It really is nothing but a man-made word. Progressive. Let me ask you a question. If you've already been doing something a long time and you failed at it, so then you say, let me change the title. We're going to call it progressive. Okay, the Democratic Party has been failing for so long. Let me tell you something. After Obama got out of office, Hillary was the best thing they had. And then she got beat by a total bum loser. So let me tell you something. Don't give me anything about progressive. That is a party in disarray. The black vote is probably about a 10.65% of the electorate in the Democratic Party. The Hispanic population in the voter turnout is going to elevate and surpass blacks within the next 5 to 10 years, which means that the black subject agenda is going to be at a dead halt. Only in California, you can see, because you're from California, you can see that the topics they talk about mostly is Hispanic and the border situation. You know why? Because that's the target agenda. That's the target voter. It's nothing to do with black. Completely void of black. They can care less about us. You know why? Because they know the black vote cannot sustain the party. They are aware of that. The Democratic Party is aware of that. Now, if you can deny that if you want to, but you can do your research nationwide and you'll see it's true.
Okay. Prince, what do you think? Do blacks need our own political party?
Yeah, absolutely. Any group that wants to get something done on a collective level, I mean black specifically, but because we're talking about black people, but even not all black people, we're not all a monolith, right? So Greenland has a different set of beliefs or whatever. For me, I'm not conservative at all. I'm not religious at all. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? No, I know. I'm not comparing me to you right now. I'm just saying
I'm void of Christianity, period.
Yeah, I'm just saying what I'm not. I'm just talking about me personally. I'm not any of those things. I'm not Christian. I don't have a Christian agenda. I don't have a Muslim agenda. I don't have a gay rights agenda. I don't have, with any of that stuff.
Speaking my language.
So for me, it wouldn't benefit me to be a part of some big black party if all of those things are going to be in that party. You know what I mean? I wouldn't care to be a part of that party. I would rather be in a more a militant black party than you know what I'm saying? And one that was focused on all this other, all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? I want basic, our basic rights and yada, yada, yada. I'm on getting free type shit. So for me, I wouldn't want to just be let's just black people just start a party. If Jesse Jackson started a black party, I'd be get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? If Steve Harvey want to start a party, I'm not fucking with Steve Harvey. But
it depends on who it is starting the party.
Yeah, for sure. But if Salik start a party, I'm yeah, nigga, let's go. I'm gonna be on it. I'm gonna be right there. I want to be a part of that party. If you start a party, I'm gonna be let's go. If Robert start a party, I'm gonna be let's go, because I know what y'all about. But if some just random black person want to start, if Dr. Who's a Trump's right hand black guy that down there,
Dr.
Yeah. If he want to start a party, I'm not fucking with him. You know what I'm saying? I just by and large, I'm pretty sure that he ain't gonna be talking about the shit that I want to hear. So yes, black people should start a party, and more specifically, black people who are really trying to get We trying to be recognized as human beings, and and things of that nature. Yeah, we should start a party. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm all for that. But can I say this real quick? I don't think that black people are ever gonna get free in this system. I don't think it's ever gonna happen. Voting or being a part of a Democrat or Republican, or we can start a small party or any of that shit. I don't think that shit is ever gonna happen. The only time it's gonna happen is if bloodshed happens. And I'm not promoting bloodshed. I'm not saying we need. Because I'm not by nature a violent person. But I just feel like that's the reality because of history has told me that they ain't gonna just give up power to us. They ain't gonna just roll over and give us anything. So anything that's gonna get us on equal footing, we're gonna have to physically go take that shit. And so, but for the time being, yeah, fuck it, why not? Let's start a party.
Okay, Professor, what do you think? Do we need our own political party?
I definitely agree that we need our own political party.
Yes, sir.
The reason I say that is because when you look at the Republican and Democratic Party, those are left and rights, right? And they have different ideologies.
Yes, sir.
But we have to understand the system that was designed for the colonists who came to America. The system of government was designed for them. So when we look at their system is a system of racism, white supremacy.
Yep.
Okay. So when we speak of a political party for the said African Americans, what we're saying is that we need an independent political party from the establishment.
Yes.
Okay. Now that independent political party, y'all hear me clear?
Yes, sir.
The independent political party deals with block voting. It deals with voting in individuals who share an interest of the community, meaning us, right?
Yep.
So, but we're in their system, so we must play their game. But we have to have somebody who understands rights of indigenous people, and we need to financially support those political parties via, if it's an independent party who has no agenda but to serve
the people,
the agenda of the people.
Yeah.
Because they're positioning that person to win financially. They're supporting that individual. So yeah, we need a independent political party, and then we need and that needs to be set up through a form of block voting. Robert says no for this reason, but first you have to understand the type of government you are in, and also you have to understand government. Government is government means the people, not democracy, not corporate dictatorship. So if you're saying that government is supposed to be this way, then you don't have the basic fundamentals of education on government. Government is the people. We are the government.
Exactly.
All right.
That's
so
right.
Don't never get it twisted. So I'm gonna leave it right there with that, because we're gonna move into other things in the segment. But we definitely need an independent political party for the said African Americans who have lost their nationality through genocide and denationalization. We're continue to talk about a fight within a system that is designed for us to be suppressed. You have to fight outside of it to come inside of it with some type of ammunition, and it's going to be a war. We're already in war. The war has never stopped. It's just on different playing fields. So the war, and we say that we may touch areas that may rise to be conflict or controversial. That's okay. We in a war. And if that war deemed necessary for bloodshed, then let it be. We can't be afraid to die or to be killed for what we believe in.
Right.
Okay, Professor on his horse early today, boy.
He got on it.
Didn't he? Hey, Robert, what do you think about all it? What do you think about what they said? And I want to make sure that everybody has everything that they want to on that point out. Robert, what do you think? Is there something that you want to rebut? Something you want to add? Go ahead.
Yeah, great points. Great points all. I personally, when it comes to block voting, when you think about it in the context of a democratic republic like America is, block voting is what all minority groups should be doing. Block voting is definitely the best way to make sure that a minority's voice is heard in a system where it is supposed to be majority rule, but protecting the rights of the minorities. Minorities' responsibility within that is to vote in a block. However, voting in a block, because of the varying views of Black people in the way that we are here in America, voting in a block is idealism. If it was something that we could work towards, then definitely be in favor of that. But I often think when you say something like voting in a block, what does that look like? Basically, what I imagine when I hear voting as a block is that we have people that are representative of us, and then we all vote to put those representatives in place to represent us. And then we vote on the issues that we want that are most important based on the issue, on their stance on the issues. And what I see based on that is the same thing that I kind of commented on the message board: infighting, political infighting on an even smaller level, for and jockeying for position to be those leaders that represent and to be that politician that is representing us. I'm not saying that that's wrong. I think that if we're doing things democratically, there will be, whenever there's been done democratically, there are going to be political positioning, the things of that nature. I just wonder how much, can we getting bogged down by implementing a system like that. Also, a secondary thing there is that a lot of the things coming up and coming to the table in terms of some of the progressive candidates right now, what they're bringing to the table, are actually representative of the things that our community would actually need to improve. Things like Medicare for all, things like student loan forgiveness, and those types of things will actually improve not only will actually improve the quality of life for Black people.
Hold on 1 second, Greenland. I'll let you jump in right after. I know you got something you want to say. Go ahead, Robert.
If we can get behind the correct policies, not particular personalities, not worried about if we like people or not, but totally focusing on policies and issues and respond to those in kind, then I think that we have a chance to make within the political system as it is now.
Okay, Greenland, it sounds like we need to define progressive, because when he mentioned progressive, go ahead, say what's on your mind, and then let's define progressive.
It's a real sore subject. It's really nasty. Now, like the good professor was saying earlier, he made a lot of sense. I understood and recognized everything he said, and Prince Hayes also. Now, the thing what I would like to say is this: if you've been, let's say since the civil rights movement, and you had the cracker, and I'm gonna call him a cracker, LBJ. Okay, he was a cracker. Okay, a lot of people think that he was really supportive of moving the Black agenda. Only thing he did was instituted very in-depth socialist programs. Okay, the Section 8s and the welfares and all of that stuff. We've already ran several generations of that, and our people are still in the same position, basically neutral. You go to Chicago, you go to you go to any big community nationwide, whether it's Detroit, Los Angeles, the people are second and third generation welfare recipients, maybe even fourth. Think about that for a minute. Now he's saying, let's have progressives with more socialist programs to give them more welfare, as if that's really going to get them on their feet. What you need to do is give them sustainable education. Take that same money. If a Democrat's really progressive, say, you know what, we're going to give you guys all college funds. We're going to set you guys up with long-term prosperity. We're not just going to give you some food stamps, some Section 8s, let you roll up a few blunts, have a few more babies, and then the babies make babies, and they're on the same system. You got to be real about this progressive, more socialist, idealistic stuff. Man, come on now. You got to be kidding that you're going to add more of the same to fix what you already got this bad? Come on, be real with me, brother. Come on now.
All right, fellas. Here.
Tyrone, just before you move to Prince here, I just want
go ahead, Robert, and then we'll go to Prince just because he's responding directly to something you said. We'll come to Prince. I know Prince got something to say too.
Did you know? Did you know that progressive candidates like Bernie Sanders, like Elizabeth Warren, and like Tulsi Gabbard all actually advocate for free public college for all people? So when you're talking about getting people college funds, that's exactly what they're trying to do.
Hey, bro, but you know what? Just a quick rebuttal. You know that's all small talk. Let me explain. I can explain some stuff that you may not be aware of. You know why we have the medical programs that no one wants to give us medical for all? Here's the real deal on it. I'm gonna drop the real pill on you right quick. Many of these people in Washington, they have their 401ks, their retirement plans, and all of that stuff mixed up inside of those subsidies with these various firms, like these pharmaceutical entities, these medical insurance entities. They're not going to cut off their own feet to help poor people. They receive dividends from lobbyists and everyone to continue with their agendas. Now, when you talk, it sounds good for these Democrat progressives to say, hey, guess what? We're going to give you medical for all so you guys can turn out at the voting boxes and vote for them. And then they say, well, we failed. It didn't work. It's just using people, man. It's just look, I'm 58 years old. I lived through every little stunt and every little story. Obama was a fluke. He didn't do anything for black folks. He was a real good, exciting thing. He was equivalent to watching that movie. What's that movie that just came out with the African superhero? It was equivalent to that, basically.
Wakanda, Black Panther.
Black Panther.
He was equivalent to giving black people euphoria and made them feel proud and good for a moment. But after the thrill was gone, it's just like, you got something real good going on in your life, and then the thrill is gone. You're back being limp again. It's finished.
Okay, Prince, go ahead and jump in.
Yeah, so I want to say that when it comes to what Greenland is saying, I think he's kind of contradicting himself. So he's saying that he doesn't believe in the socialist ideologies, right? But then he'll turn around and say, well, put the money in education. That's a socialist program. Like, just so you know that. So that's socialism too. It's just what you think, or for whatever reason you think that people getting basic needs met, like healthcare for all, somehow is going to make people not want to work or something like that. When the truth of the matter is, the vast majority of people work. The vast majority of people in America work, and they work 45, 50 hours a week. So I don't know who you're talking about when you're acting like black people are like in the hood, they're not working. They working just like white people are working. They work just as much. So I don't get that. I don't understand that. The numbers don't support what you're saying. Secondly, another thing about it is that Martin Luther, you said you lived through this and you lived through that. So I don't understand if you lived through all of this stuff, then you lived through the Black Panthers. They were a socialist. They were communists, actually. You lived through Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King was a socialist too. So you got to get this word socialism out your head. That shit is stupid. I don't care. I just use that word because it's a word that easily describes, when you say it, most people should know what that means if they have like some rudimentary or elementary understanding of what the word means, but it sounds like you don't. So the thing about socialism is this. It's all it is to me, the white man took what we were already practicing, which was better. Basically, black people believe we come from tribes. That's where we started from, right? And if you look at the makeup of a tribe, it's all about the community. It's all they don't want like really poor people in the tribe, and then like the leader of the tribe got 19 huts and he got 35,000 goats and he got 20,000 wives. Like, that's not how we get down. We want everybody to eat. We want everybody to be able to be taken care of. That's really, that's the fundamental basis of socialism. That's all it's about. Like, at the end of the day, it's just making sure that, like, you could be rich, there could be rich people, and there could be people that aren't that rich. But there shouldn't be anybody fucking starving and dying in the street There shouldn't be anybody that doesn't have access to health care. There shouldn't be anybody that can't go to college or doesn't have a decent school to go to or have a roof over their head if they want to. There shouldn't be anybody in the whole wide world, not just America, not just in rich places or poor, anywhere. And if you have a problem with that, you have a problem with yourself. Like, that's something broken in you. If you don't think like that, if you got any rebuttal to that, if you could think anything negative to that, like, well, I don't see why these people deserve to have a place to live. I don't see why these people deserve to have an education. I don't see why people deserve to make a bare minimum so that they can survive.
Okay.
What the fuck? Like, I don't understand that shit. Like, this is like common sense stuff that we're talking about here.
All right, Pete, let's let Greenland respond, and then after that, we're going to come to you, Salik. Just take mental note of what you want to say, because that was a lot that he said directly toward Greenland, so I have to let him.
I wasn't really saying that to Greenland, though. I mean, if he believes it, whatever. I'm just saying to anybody that has a problem with socialism or just that concept, that's who I'm talking to. But if he doesn't, cool, shoot fit, swear.
I'm a little bit upset because I feel that you're a chameleon. Because what you do, you take word, you're acrobatic. You take words and you twist what people say. First of all, I did not say anything about college being or not being a socialist program. What I did say, in fact, I say give people long-term systemic things tangible things you can't take back. They could vote out all of these other programs. They could vote out Section 8. They can get rid of all of these entitlement programs. But your education, once it's in your brain, it's there forever. And that's what I was saying. Give people something tangible that you can't take back. Give them something that you can't take back. You can't make a judge unbe a judge. You can't make a doctor unbe a doctor. You can't make a real, genuine civil servant for his people unbe what he is. That's what I said. So don't take my words out of context. I didn't say anything about, they can't have medical. I didn't say that. I think everyone's entitled to medical. I have medical. I pay a lot of money per month I pay $800 a month, but just me and myself, not just my family, just me alone. So I know what it takes. Now, that happened after Obama. I used to have a nice program that wasn't expensive for one person or the rest of the family. It costs about $2,500 for a family of 6 now, just for medical insurance in America. And you mean to tell me, if I wasn't making the kind of money I make, I couldn't afford it. But I'm saying that's what it takes in America now. Yeah, and you can't tell me that didn't happen overnight.
Okay. No, that's too much. I agree. I think that's terrible. Nobody should be paying $800 a month for
that's a broken system.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a broken system. Okay. But imagine if the socialists get their way, they would have to increase that to help facilitate everything for everybody else. I know you hear that when you say progressive.
Study, Medicare
that's made up.
Cheaper than what people are paying for private insurance.
Yeah, that's not. You got to know the real. Know the numbers. No, true. It would save. It would save $2 trillion. That's just the low estimate. It would save $2 trillion over 10 years. Save $2 trillion over.
Yeah, you guys say that.
I don't say that.
But you got to understand. Not to cut. Okay, not to cut you off. But what I like to say is the progressives, as he calls them, they're in New York and the newly elected progressives. They're saying, well, we're going to start going up on the rich people's taxes about 90. Make them pay like 90%. Is what they're saying. So to say, that's the rule.
Anything over $10 million, they want to tax 70. They want to tax 70%, not 90. 70%.
Well, I heard 90% from that Casey Ortiz lady. She said 90. I got the video.
She never said that. She said 70.
All right, hold on. Look, those semantics we could look up. Okay, and look, we could post that video later because we'll just keep going on around it, or I'll look for it while while we go to this. Yeah. But let's let Salik, let's let Professor say something.
Please, Salik.
Because we
skipped him. Go ahead, Salik.
Sorry, Salik.
Well, first, where should I start? Give me a start, man.
Socialism. Okay. Social programs, because we're right there in that lane. We're talking about socialism, social programs, whether we're giving away stuff, whether it works. So here, what do you think on in that lane? We're talking about the socialism aspect now.
Socialism aspect in a way that these gentlemen talking about healthcare and all these type of things like this.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Definitely, man. We healthcare, better education, a better economic situation,
Yeah.
etc., etc. You know, all those things are needed. We need those things.
Sure.
But man, it's okay. In this world that we live in, you know, we have many people on this planet, right? And but within our system, who have a misconception
Mhm.
of government functionality, and not only that, is that they are they need a re-education.
Mm-hmm.
So we have these conversations and we be all over the place, right? Because we're only looking at it from a Eurocentric perspective.
Mm.
So we don't even attack the root causes of issues because we're so speaking on top of it and we're dealing with it like, you know, like we have some type of control. We got Bernie in. Oh yeah, we got Grandpa. Hey, Pop, and he gonna make it all work. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So what I'm saying is shake off the dust, okay? Because you've been covered in it too long. You've been dead. Get up. Now it's time for us
Exactly.
to understand the basic fundamentals of government, the basic fundamentals of your
Mhm.
status. See, we out here, man,
Right.
talking about we want this, we want that, and it's all individual voting, it's all individual selection, and all we doing is saying, as long as we can get a piece of the pie, I can eat it until I die.
Right.
That's it.
So we want to just say inclusion isn't enough.
Inclusion isn't enough. So what you have to understand is we have to see black people in America, man, has been just pacified through all kind of shit. You know, we give you they give you one of those candy lollipops, like a sucker. I mean, like a pacifier.
That's right.
And so you don't want the plain one. So they give you one with flavor and make you suck on it so you can
That's
shut
right.
up.
That's right.
As long as you
That's
got
right.
something with flavor, you're gonna shut up. I'm using a lot
That's
of
right.
metaphor. I'm using a lot of metaphor today.
But it's
Go
still
ahead,
right.
go ahead, Doc.
You feel
That's
me?
right.
So
He's right.
you can suck on that nice candy pop and have
That's
flavor
right.
and shut up and feel that you got something because the other ones don't have no flavor. So it's just like brother Glenn was posting earlier when we had that discussion of these Jewish people making comments and saying things about us getting too much. See, we have to understand and realize, man, that we have been welcomed into their system of government.
Mm-hmm.
So you play by their rules.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But everyone within this system is not trying to
See you come
suppress
up.
you because I'm saying suppress everyone because remember there are poor whites too.
Yeah.
That's
And
right.
you know what I'm saying? So you got families that are trying to rise up to some level of education and financial wealth as well.
Exactly.
So I'm speaking of here I am, man. I have to draw the line and come back to the basics, man, because we talk with Eurocentric education and ideology, and we feel that we are progressive. We feel that we're making a move. Well, man, listen, like I've been saying a long time ago, man, we got to come back and understand what I mean when I say block voting. I'm speaking of it from a perspective of a community-based, but understanding the political and economic agenda.
Mm-hmm.
But that has to be through a system, right, that is designed through a way of law and governance that has a constitution so that can be the basis of the foundation moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
So we want all these things, healthcare. We want all these things. We want et cetera, et cetera. But here we are again. Right. We're still in a big ass ocean in a small section, getting a piece of the pie and feeling that we won the election.
No, not at all. I totally, Salik, I personally, I just like to see, like, in reality, right? Like, everything you're saying is true. Like, as far as I'm concerned, like, I don't disagree with what you're saying at all. I'm saying that personally, I don't care if you want to call me a progressive or what. I don't give a fuck about that. I just use, like I said, I'm just using the word because it seems like if I say progressive, then people, it means different things to different people. But generally speaking, people know what progressive means, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, but I don't care, like call myself a progressive or whatever, you know. But I
scratch my head.
You
Contradicted there. That's a little bit contradictory.
Politically progressive or black, you know what I'm saying, or whatever you want to call it. But my shit is about getting black people fucking free. So it's automatically progressive. You know what I'm saying? Like politically speaking, that's my whole shit. It's like we're oppressed. We need to get from under this thumb of tyranny. How are we gonna do it? And like I said before, I think that the only way it's really gonna happen is the fight. But in the meantime, no, we dying
from fucking high blood pressure and dying from not being able to afford medication. You dig what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm like.
Okay, let's go back here. So we all on the panel. We all know that progression means what? To move forward.
That's what I was going to ask everybody. Let's get these terms defined for everybody because it seems like there's different definitions for everybody. Salik, Greenland, friend of the people, Robert, and I'm gonna come to you, Robert, because you've been holding for a while, and Prince when he comes on. If you guys can, let's define progressive and let's define socialism. Although there's a definition in the dictionary, everybody still has a different definition of it. So Salik, go ahead.
Well, let's be very simple. You know, we can look up the etymology of the word, the root word, but when we talk about just being progressive, we're talking about something that is developing very gradually, right? We're talking about either it can be a part of something that was implemented, you know what I'm saying? Something that is moving forward to maybe even start a new type of reform of something. But it's progressive is just making effort or stances progressively, meaning that things are happening. It's not happening rapidly, but it's progressive. Do we all agree with that?
I agree, but
hold on for a second. I want to see do we at least agree with that? Prince,
Robert, Prince,
friend of the people.
Well, when I say progressive, I understand what you're saying, but when I say progressive, I'm talking about a specific.
Okay, hold on. So here you go. We ain't talking about a specific. We're talking about the defining of the word progressive, what it means. What you mean later, it will mean something later. So what I'm saying is,
you mean the denotative definition, like
what I just said. Do you agree with progressive in its defining and definition? What I just said. Do you agree with it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
No. Okay. So,
that's not
all I'm saying. If you're saying okay, that's cool. But this is where
I'm sorry, man. I really do agree. I'm just saying okay.
Okay. My bad. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So now when we start moving forward now with conversations, we're looking at actions of progressiveness. We're looking at more actions now, defined on what brother friends of the people is talking about. What is progressive in a form of action? See, now we're getting to something different, but we understand the definition. But now he's speaking of a specific and different time of action.
Right.
So I'm not lost. I'm with y'all. But what I was going to say, what I was going to say was this, man. Well, I was going to say this because you said you wanted to define progressiveness, and what's the other one you said you want to define?
And socialism, because we're talking about those two things, and you're talking about the root definition of it from the dictionary. So besides that, I do want to get into it, what it means to people individually, because I have noticed that even when you talk about progressive, it is taking on a different political definition, it seems like. So I'm trying to also get a grasp on, the meaning and what political implications does that word mean for everybody, just so we know where everybody stands along with socialism.
Okay. Well, we all on the panel. We intelligent. We know that. Here we go again with socialism. Socialism is what? It deals with what? It deals with a system.
Right.
It deals with a political system, economical system, social organization.
Exactly.
It's called socialism. It is a way to deal with the group organized.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Would everybody agree? We're gonna keep it simple.
It's all about that too. But it's the basis of it is everybody gets a vote. And it's more than politics. It's like if we own a business, right? If I own a business, or not own a business, but if we work at the same facility or whatever, we all get a vote. We all make the same amount of money in the facility. Just because your title is whatever, it doesn't mean anything, because we all have a job to do. That is, to me, like, that's the most important part about it, is that we all get a vote. There is no hierarchy. It's everybody is equal, which I like that way better.
Wow. So you mean, I want to touch on the word he said, job. You know what job stands for? Just over broke. People don't just want a job. People want above job. You mean job? Job.
Huh?
People, you trying to tell me black people are struggling through slavery to get a job? Are you for real, bro? Come on.
What are you talking about?
I understand the doctor.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He just said this time. He said, he mentioned, and then he said job. Everybody gets a job, he said.
Hey, well,
That's what he said. You said that yourself.
Yes, sir. But look, Glenn, let's go back to real quick, y'all. I'm gonna jump in right quick, man, because this is what happens when we start having conversations. I'm not even go there, but listen, we were talking about socialism. Tyrone T said, define it, brother. Prince, you went into like jobs, you went into everyone gets to vote. That's not what socialism is in its contents. If socialism deals with organization, okay, it deals with the community as a whole. We already know that, which I talked about. I said we intelligent people. Let's not take it and try to move it to fit our emotional agenda.
Exactly.
But I'm not, Salik. That literally is, if you look up the meaning, that's a part of the meaning.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, it's part of. Listen, you hear what I said? It is part of, meaning that it's past tense, meaning that it's something that already has to happen after the structure of organization has already happened. Exactly. But when it deals with the whole body, it deals with everyone has a collective input.
Yes,
that's
sir.
what I'm saying.
Yes,
that's socialism. That's socialism.
That's exactly.
Right, let's let Robert get in. Robert, you've been holding for a while, man.
Go ahead, Robert.
What do you think? The definition of socialism and the political definition of socialism. What is socialism to you?
Socialism. When I'm talking about socialism, I'm talking about an economic system.
Thank you. That's what I just said.
So it's a system where the government or the group, like Salik said, but they control the means of production.
Yes.
In a particular item, or some governments. Different types. There's different levels of socialism.
Can you lock this door?
Where you have socialism where the government controls the means of production in every major industry in that particular state or nation. But when we're talking about socialism and applying it to this discussion about America and about progressive reform, socialism is we're talking about a social democracy. We're talking about a political
dictatorship
where some major industries are controlled by the government in terms of the means of production. But overall, there is still a capitalist element where the people control the control profit and control the production of a vast majority of that. And we still the structure, the republic voting structure that we've had since the United States founded.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Greenland.
Real quickly, like I could tell that Mr. Salik was going to jump in and say something, but for example, somebody mentioned communism. First of all,
something happened with your speaker, Greenland. It went real high pitched just now.
Is it back now? Is it okay now?
It's still the same.
Barely hear you. I
barely hear you.
How about now?
Yeah, it's saying that you have low bandwidth right now. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
There you go.
Basically, what I was going to say was, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Am I good?
Your bandwidth is fluctuating. I can see over here where it goes up and down. So now you'll be good. Go ahead.
Okay. What I was going to say, like Mr. Salik said, for example, we talk about, let's say 20, 30 years ago, it was unheard of for anyone in this country to suggest anything with the word social, because socialist was looked upon as Russia, Crimea, China was socialist situations where the government ran and controlled you, how you got your food, how you got your medical, what you earned was it belonged to the government. In other words,
Greenland, yeah, your sound is going bad. For
it
some
is.
reason, yeah, your bandwidth is going up and down. It might just be the spot that you're sitting. That's what I think. Yeah, let me try that. All right, go ahead, Greenland. Oh no, you muted your. Okay.
It said mute. Is it okay now?
Yeah, you're good. You're great.
Okay.
I can hear you
What
perfect.
what 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 I was saying was, we talk about 25, 30, 40 years ago. To mention socialist or government ran situation, that was unheard of in this country. Nobody would even dare think like that. And you see the countries that did do that, China, Russia, all those countries, they're no longer really on a socialist platform anymore. They became capitalists. So you got to take a look at things. When we're trying to go backwards, they changed from what they were to what we are now. And now people are here. I'm sorry? You said something?
You say
No,
something,
go
Prince?
ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't want to interrupt. I'm sorry. I don't want to interrupt.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Just hold your thought, and we'll come to you, and then we'll go down the line. Go ahead, Greenland.
Yeah.
Like I was saying is, in the past, if you mentioned a socialist program or socialism, because it was really reflective of what was going on in the eastern bloc of the world, where governments ran things and told people what they could and couldn't have, and they supplied you medical, they supplied you everything. That was unheard of. I mean, that was like a stain to hear that back then. But now we're saying, fast forward, like, oh yeah, we want to be those countries. And you got a strong opposition in this country of wealthy people and policymakers that are against this stuff. And they're against it for a reason, because they know it'll be the end of our democracy. It'll be the end of the democracy. I'm not saying that we really have a democracy for black people, but if you think we're doing bad now, if we stay on that agenda, I can tell you we'll be doing worse off. I rest my case.
Okay, so you say we'll be doing worse if we implement socialism or more socialism.
Exactly. In other words, socialism is not going to fix anything. In other words, like the doctor, like Mr. Slick said, we got to implement no direction, fresh piece of paper, brand new concepts. We don't need to take something that fell and say we're going to change the title and start tricking our society with words like socialism and progressiveness. Those are trick words. It's just saying that we're going to try something different because we screwed up already. That's what it means.
Okay.
So can we be like, whenever we get into these, I get, I've had this discussion with many people. So the first thing about it is that you've never seen a socialistic government function without interference from some other country trying to stop it. That's like you want to talk about China? Cool. Look at what happened in China. You want to talk about Russia? Cool. Look at what happened in Russia. You want to talk about Cuba? Look at what's happening in Cuba. Look at what's happening in Venezuela. You've never seen socialism be left alone like capitalism has been. And capitalism has failed so many times and been bailed out so many times by socialism, it's not even funny. So whenever you so I'm with you on starting a whole new thing. I have a really simple philosophy. You can make money, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do, as long as that shit don't destroy other people or the planet. Those are like, you can do whatever you want to do, and those are two things. You don't destroy people, you don't destroy the planet, and as long as there's like a base, everybody has health care and nobody's fucking starving and dying in the streets and so on and so forth. Like, that's to me, that's the simplest way to go about it. You can make $1 trillion if you can, cool, whatever. Do it the right way, I'm with it. The thing is that nobody can do it like that, because once you add those checks and balances, the only way for Jeff Bezos to be Jeff Bezos is to exploit whole countries worth of people and suppress wages and make sure people can't get health care and things of that nature. You see what I'm saying? So when we talk about socialism, and you want to talk about a socialistic society, which you've never seen, I guarantee you've never seen one in your lifetime.
If
I wouldn't say that, but you can go ahead and say it.
You haven't seen one left alone, and every single. Also, it's not the system failing. If you look at it, had nothing to do with the system. It had nothing to do with socialism as a system. It had everything to do with the people who ran the system, right? So you want to talk about China? Look, Chairman Mao, right? Look at what he did. That's what he did. That's not socialism, though. To just start killing people. That's not written in socialism. That they must start killing people. You see what I'm saying? That's not a part of it. You dig what I mean? Like, so don't confuse the two. Don't act like because some people got it and started fucking it up. Oh, look, that's socialism. No. Capitalism, we have seen and we're watching it fail right now without killing anybody. We can see it right now. You
How's
can
it
see.
Tell me how it's feeling now. I want to hear how is it feeling. Tell me.
Because there's 1% of people who have more money than 90% of people on this fucking planet.
Hey, brother, it's been like that since biblical times. What are you talking about?
So it doesn't make it right. But that doesn't make it right. That doesn't make it right. So feudalism used to exist, right? So feudalism used to exist before socialism and before capitalism. We could look back on feudalism and say feudalism.
That existed. What are you talking about?
All right.
The Roman Empire.
All right, look, you guys.
Just because something happened, just real quick, just because something happened doesn't mean it's right. So I don't care if you're bringing up like, yeah, look at the Roman Empire. You're right. America looks like the Roman Empire. Guess what happened to the Roman Empire? It freaking imploded. So that's what's about to happen here. So what's your point?
My point is you were speaking.
Making my point. It's failing.
Hold on, Prince. Let him respond, and then I want to come over to Robert, and I want to read some comments. And I want to tell people, if you guys are watching, hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed, hit your index finger on that subscribe. Bing, go ahead, Greenland, and then we're gonna come to you, friendly friend of the people.
Yes, you know what? It's easy for him to take that narrative and say that, oh, it's failing. We got this percentage that have all the wealth, because that's a typical Democratic agenda and the so-called progressive people. They want to say that everybody poor, that's black or minority or poor white trash, is doing bad because of the 1% of the country is wealthy and the rest of everybody's in the toilet. Well, guess what? It has always been a percentage of people that have more than others. You want to talk about something? Let's take a look at the royal family. Let's take a look at how those people pillaged Africa and other nations throughout the centuries. No one's saying nothing about that. You know, the royal family is probably the biggest thieves of all times, and no one's really focused on that. You got to stop and think for me. I rest my case.
Okay, Robert, friendly friend of the people, go ahead and jump in.
Okay, so when we're talking about socialism, first of all, we're not talking about the socialism that as you were coming up, Greenland, when you were coming up, that USSR, Cuba, the one that they scared you with, that they made you afraid to even look into because they basically equated it with evil, and now you're brainwashed into basically thinking it's evil. That's not the socialism we're talking about. The socialism we're talking about is democratic socialism. Socialism as in Denmark and Sweden, Norway, other Scandinavian countries, some of the countries that with the highest ratings of happiness, some of the highest ratings of life expectancy. We're talking about New Zealand. We're talking about Canada. We're talking about Belgium. We're talking about some of the best places to live in the world. They are democratic socialist countries, and people there are happy. You want to know why? Because they're not like America, where 30 million people, including children, don't have health insurance. They don't have 15 million children starving and having food deficits in the richest nation in the world. They don't have those type of things because they understand that healthcare is a right. We're the only country in the West that doesn't give healthcare as a right to each and every person in our in our system. And based on your ability to pay, you could do everything right, Greenland. You could do everything right with your life, save money. You're a great businessman, do all of that stuff. But if you're hit with something like cancer, most people that you know what I mean, even rich people, it's statistics have shown in America, you get cancer, you got about 3 or 4 years before you're bankrupt because you can't pay for it. And people that get cancer cancer and if they don't have health insurance already, they're not able to get it because they don't have any, because they're getting shut out because of pre-existing conditions. When we're talking about social health, we're talking about socialism. We're talking about the richest people in the world sharing what they have. See, you haven't mentioned, you're talking about the taxes that, and what they're talking about paying in taxes, but you're shaking your head, but you're not talking about how Trump cut $1 trillion tax cuts to the richest Americans 2 years in a row. The richest people are already getting their share, they're getting their cuts, and now it's time for them to pay their fair share. The people that work for them, those are the people that are benefiting. Workers have rights too. Just because someone's at the top doesn't mean they don't have to pay their fair share. If someone is working, you know, when a capitalist gets rich, he gets rich off of people. He gets rich off he drives on the same roads that everybody pitches in and pays taxes for. He uses the same police force, same fire department. He uses the same mail system. He uses the same things that everybody pitches and pays for. And when a company like Amazon can pay $0 in federal income taxes and make $120 billion, that something's wrong. When people build their lives around a capitalist like Ford, and Ford opens a plant and everybody works there, and then they decide to pick up and leave, and everybody is out of jobs and impoverished like Detroit, something is wrong. And if you think that that's okay, and you think capitalism is okay, and you think it's okay for everybody at the top to prey on the people at the bottom, something is wrong with you morally. You need to check yourself.
Hold on a second. I just want,
go ahead, Greeley. We'll come to you next, Salik, Professor. That's a lot. Go ahead, Greeley.
Okay, what he said, that was a great performance, but it had a lot of things missing, a lot of elements. And what I want to say was, the problems in Detroit, that's been happening for about...
Right, it's time to change. It's been happening for a long time, and it's time for a change. That's why we're moving away from old dinosaurs like you and your way of thinking, bro.
Here, let him get in.
It's over.
Let him get in, Robert. Go ahead, Greeley.
What I'm trying to say is, a lot of things we're talking about is caused by outsourcing. In 1973, President Nixon, he went over there to China. He made a deal with China. When he made that deal with China, they became a capitalist society. We got sold out years ago. Our decline is probably about 50 years old. You're just pointing out Detroit right now, sir. But guess what? It's our industry and the crazy whack job, kooky ass liberals like you say, oh, we can't have a plant over here in America because of the air. People like you cause jobs to leave because you said we got to have clean air. We can't have a factory here.
Hold on, let him finish.
We can't do that. You people like you, because you think that you got to have a free, you think you want your cake and eat it too. You want jobs, but you don't want pollution. You want people to work, but you don't want a factory. You want the guy to put somebody to work like Amazon to pay you like you own the company. Well, if you do that, he can't expand and make more jobs for people. I know it doesn't sound right, but it is what it is. And like I said,
it doesn't sound right. And
that sounds really not right.
Because
he's worth like $70 billion. So does he need to be worth 70? Like, what if he cut it in half and just shared $35 billion with the rest of his fucking? What if he was only worth $1 billion? You think that's like, oh my god? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, of course,
I'm not defending if it's wrong or right, sir. I'm not saying it's wrong or right. I'm just trying to explain how we got to where we are right now. I'm not a dinosaur, by the way.
You're just talking about how we got to this.
You think like a dinosaur, buddy.
I don't think like a dinosaur. I think intelligently.
All right, you guys, look. Let's not cut each other off, and let's let each other speak. Go ahead, Greenland, and after that, let's go to you.
I'm a business person. I'm independent. I own my own company. I got 3 of them. I don't think like you think because I think like a business person. And secondly, I'll tell you this: I pay land taxes, I pay payroll taxes, I pay environmental fees, I pay stuff everywhere to every municipality. You think I feel good about it? But guess what? Your progressive buddies got me into paying all that pay. That's who got me into it. So as you say progressive, you don't know what progressive really means. Progressive means take, and give. How much you can take? Let me tell you something. Rich people have an escape program already waiting. Once this country gets too crazy for them financially, the big guys, the billionaires, they can escape, go elsewhere. People but hold on a second. people
Hold on.
like me, hold on, let me finish.
And we're coming to
People
you
like
next,
you,
Salik.
we have to stay here, and we got to get hit with the taxes to make up for what they lose from the people not paying, because they're going to get out of here. They're going to say, I'm out of here. And then we have to make up the difference, because the progressives are going to say, well, look, we got all these socialist programs and the rich guys fail, so you guys got to pick up the tab now.
Most of the Western world has socialist programs. So where are they going to go? They want to move to Bolivia, then fine.
Socialist programs are not that fluent in many. You just named a few countries, but you won't talk about the ones that failed. You want to talk about the ones that failed. I like the way that you dance around topics. You pick and choose the ones that suit your agenda when you want to talk, but you won't say about the ones that fail miserably.
Okay, here you
Why
guys.
did they fail? Okay,
Hold on.
go ahead.
Let's let
Sorry, Salik. Let
Professor
Salik
get
talk.
in. Salik, you got something you want to say? I know you've been sitting there.
Go ahead, Salik.
Wow. Yeah, man, this is an interesting dialogue. It's interesting in a fashion that we have the young bloods. Can y'all hear me? Hold on.
Yes, sir.
Yo,
We got you.
we got you.
It's interesting because you have the young bloods, the new generation.
Uh-oh, he froze up.
Uh-oh, you froze up, Salik. Okay, Salik froze up. It sounded like he was about to say something. We have two different mentalities of thought.
Yes, sir.
Salik, you there?
Yeah, I'm back now.
Okay. Yeah, you have broke up and say down here that you got low bandwidth. But go ahead, we can hear you now if you want to say that over. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. So yeah, what I'm saying, you have the young bloods, and you have the old blood. But I'm not gonna call him dinosaur because he still got youth in him. So and he has an experience. Greenland has an experience that we don't have in respects to the different elements of communism, socialism, different things like that, because the time that he was, he grew up in the 60s. We didn't grow up in the 60s, but we can have an understanding of the education through information of history, right? We wasn't there to see it. And I'm asking you, I mean, and even friends of the people, we wasn't there to live through it. So we don't know what it was like to live through it at that time. We're living through what we can feel now. So you have to, by all due respect to all the kings on here speaking, we got to give respect, because Greenland's expressing himself from his time of life living through now. So it's not a form of us trying to pursue dominance over one another, but let's have an open and respectful dialogue, and let's understand where each of us is coming from, because we come from different experiences of life, and this is an opportunity to share that, have an understanding. We may not agree, but at least we can have an understanding
where each other
of
are
the
coming
life
from.
experience and the emotion that we express.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, in the table of manhood, there's gonna be disrespectful people. We know we deal with those men. We deal with those men or those niggas like men.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And hands down, we handle men like we would handle men like men. And so let me just go back. Let me just go back, man, to what I wanted to talk, because I would listen to everybody's dialogue, and Friends of the People was very adamant about Greenland being a dinosaur, and you.
Yeah.
So Greenland said, "No, I'm not."
right. So you got
dinosaur got a fat bank account. Tell him that part though.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead, Salik.
But listen, all right, man. So all right, damn, man. It's kind of hard to know which direction should I go with this? T, which direction should I go with this next comment? Because I was just feeling a lot of different emotions dealing with the brothers from Friends of the People and Greenland.
Well, let me ask you this, and I'm listening to everybody speaking, and it sounds like Greeland is coming from a business owner's perspective, so he see things as a business owner, and Robert and Prince, they see things, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong. It sounds
Yeah.
like they see things as they're young and they want everything to be okay for everybody, and
Right.
and it just seems like we're just coming from two different points of view. Is there a way to bridge them points of view? And and you guys, am I right? Or you know what? It'll be better if they explain their point of view.
Yeah.
But I think I do know where it's coming from, because Greeland is, like he said, he's a business owner. And so he feels the different taxes, the different regulations, and the different things that would come about from the things that Robert and Prince are talking about implementing. So it sounds like they're talking about implementing certain policies, and Greeland is saying, hey, I'm gonna have to pay for it. Now I don't know if that's a fact or if that's how it goes.
Yeah, that's not a fact. So the way that, like, I'm very like, so everybody here understands business, and everybody here understands basic math, right? Okay, so let's do basic math.
Yeah.
Our government our tax dollars right now, right? 51% of our tax dollars go to what? Fighting wars all around this world, right? Okay, cool. So I'm president today. I'm saying I'm gonna play president. Fuck what all these other politicians talking about. I'm talking about what I would do. So 51% of our tax dollars is going towards fighting fucking wars in brown countries and black countries and killing poor black and brown people, right? Cool. So guess what? I'm cutting that shit. I'm cutting right off the bat, pulling everybody. We out of all the wars. If that's too extreme, fuck it. We'll slice it in half, right? I'll give 25%. But that's, what is that? Like $1 trillion a year being wasted on fighting wars, right? Hundreds of billions of dollars a year being wasted on fighting wars. Let's just be real. So you mean to tell, and with that money, I could reallocate the money. It ain't about raising taxes. It shouldn't be. I'm saying I'm not talking about what these politicians are talking about, because the thing that I don't like about them, about even a Bernie Sanders or whatever, is that he's talking about, oh, well, we could get the money from a speculation tax, right? Like, that's his word, and so that's just a new tax, and I don't give a fuck about this. And I don't give a fuck about the speculation tax, because the people who it's going to affect is Wall Street, and the money definitely should come from Wall Street in some way, shape, or form. The problem that I have is that they not talking about cutting this fucking military budget and taking the money from that shit and reallocating it and giving it to the people. That's one of the biggest things. So if it was me, I would just take money from there and give it to the people and pay for these programs. We don't gotta raise your taxes. We already pay enough taxes as it is. But even with that being said, right? So let's do this. Let's do it. I'm gonna do it with what the taxes, with how they're talking about doing it. They want to do it through this tax, through the speculation tax or whatever, right? But the fact of the matter is this, man, we're already paying for the shit. Whether you want to call it a tax or whatever, we already being taxed for it. Greeland just told me right now, I pay $800 a month for shitty insurance. Because I guarantee your insurance is shitty. I don't care which one you got. It's shitty. Because I got great insurance and it's shitty insurance. Still, I got Platinum Plus, the highest level fucking Blue Cross Blue Shield, whatever the fuck. I got PPO, da. I don't give a fuck. It's shitty insurance. I guarantee you some shit happens. You can still go bankrupt with it, right? Cool. So you paying $800 a month. If I told you,
I got $7 million coverage.
You said what?
I got about $3 million worth of coverage.
Yeah, cool. I got you. I hear you, bro. That shit could go away in a blink of an eye. So what I'm saying is that so you got $3 million worth of coverage. It still could not be enough to cover cancer. If you got to fight cancer, that shit costs millions of dollars, multiple, not 100,000, millions of dollars, right? Cool. So here's my thing. So you pay $800. You pay $800 a month. So what if I told you a businessman? I said, hey, Greeley, look, brother, give me $400. Give me $400 a month. Right? You give me, which is, this ain't even how high the tax is. I'm just making up a number. You give me $400 a month, and I'll cover your whole family. Everybody can go to the doctor. They all got $3 million, $4 million. Matter of fact, no matter what the cost is, it will be covered. All you got to do is give me $400 a month. You would say yes to that, because that's common sense. That's how the math works, right? You would be like, yeah, for sure. So That's the type of shit that I'm talking about doing. That's the programs that I want to implement. We don't need to raise your taxes.
Okay.
But
Hey,
you know what? You talk mindset.
Uh-oh.
You sound like a damn fool.
Greenland,
Your,
you went
your
you went
phone,
crazy.
your phone going in and out, Greeland. Greeland, I think you might have to sit in another spot because I can see your bandwidth over here and it stay in the red, it stay on the low. That's why you keep going out. You got your phone on elevator mode. I'm just kidding.
Oh, can I go right quick, Greenland?
Is it better now? I did a little move.
Yeah, it actually is better.
Better?
Your bandwidth went up. Go ahead, Greeland.
Okay. So what I'm saying is this. And if you can recall what I reiterated earlier, I said, well, look, I said, one of the reasons why the medical system is so high because Nancy Pelosi, Bernie Sanders, all these crackpots, and all the Republicans too, they're all sharing in the profits from these companies, man. Now, let me tell you something. If you look at their stock portfolios, I guarantee you they got pharmaceutical stuff. Let me tell you something. Them same people who pass their money under the table to skip the subjects when it goes before the House and the committees to talk about. I got a friend, and you guys might know who. I know a gentleman that owns that rolling paper company in California. Anyway, he owns that company, and I was at a party with him not long ago, and he told me how he got to pay lobbyists so that the tobacco companies won't run him out of business. You guys don't understand politics in Washington, man. You guys are living a fantasy. These people are for you. These people are backstabbing crooks, okay? What they tell you, what they really do is two different freaking things, dude. You really think they care about poor people? You really think that they're going to cut their own wealth off just to protect a few black people or poor Hispanic or whatever? You're badly mistaken.
Some of them will. Some of them will, not all of them, and not the vast majority. I agree. We know 99.9% of them are, but there's a handful of them that do. I don't support. Hey man, I don't care. I've never voted for a Democratic president or anything like that. I don't fuck with Democrats or Republicans. Both parties are fucking evil. But there are individuals in the party right now that aren't evil, that do care, that have a track record, that can show you like, look what they're trying to do. They ain't perfect, but they care. So yeah, you're right. I don't care about Nancy Pelosi.
Rookie
I
politicians
don't care about Chuck Schumer.
I wish another rookie politician, freshmen don't get nothing done. They don't have the power. Okay, remember that.
All right, let's let Salik jump in, and then let Robert jump in too. Greeland, if you can, hold your thoughts, and if you guys are out there, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Let us know that you like the conversation, and I hope you're getting something out of it. Again, we like people to see different perspectives. Go ahead, Salik.
Okay. All right. Now this conversation has just got that much more interesting because Prince was making mention of what he made mention, and then okay, do we understand that this government is ran and owned by corporations?
Yes.
Yes,
If we do know and understand that, then what Greenland is saying makes a whole lot of 100% sense.
Exactly.
Okay. The reason why, man, this is deep. Now listen. This conversation that we're having is a small piece of a big pie.
Absolutely.
So I'm just encouraging everybody on the panel to do more research on corporate government, on corporations that run the government.
That's right.
So even in politicians, they have their hands in all of these different corporations, man, and they are lobbying behind one another.
Absolutely.
We go to wars with these different countries. Like Prince said, he said he'll pull back all the troops. Well, there will be a lot of bloodshed between you and whoever your party is because you're stopping a family, I'm gonna say it like this, a royal family or a family of a Masonic group. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? These families who are running these things. So this is war. This is the reason why you have so much wars and things happening. This may go over some people's heads, man. But this is the current state.
Yeah, like you said.
But this is the current state of government right now. It's democracy.
That's right.
This is the current state. And so we must understand the purpose of these taxations. The purpose of us going to war is to build wealth for those families who are behind it financially.
Right. The controlling
you have to understand this. If me and Friends of the People had a weapons supply company, and all we did was made armored tanks and missiles.
Exactly.
And everybody comes in and they invest in our company. They put stock into our company. Our company can't grow financially unless we provoke a war.
Exactly.
Me and friends of the people, our product doesn't move out of the warehouse if we're not selling it to someone who's using it.
Exactly.
So wars have to be created in order for me and friends of the people to establish financial wealth, and all of the investors to establish their wealth as well.
There you go. All in the
You see what I'm saying? So that's just a breakdown on what it's like. So even in the pharmaceutical industry, here we already have scientists making sulfur medication dealing with all which is all chemical based, ain't really causing no cures. What they do is they treat you enough until you die. It's just to get you by.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So here we are, men, friends of the people. We have some chemists and we have some medicine that was made for a particular situation, but we need this thing to be promoted. We need this thing to be off the shelf. We need somebody to take this vaccination in order for us to get the financial benefit from it. So whether we force it on the people, and then we have, so it's a big game, man.
Big game.
So we have to come right back to what we all started talking about at the beginning, is understanding the basics of government and being a part of a body politic that affords the protections, guarantees, and securities by that group under your indigenous or nationality status. Now, how do we move forward from there? All I'm talking about is what's already happened. It's happening. So how do we end up getting medical institutions for us? Can we create our own medical institutions or educational institutions? We have the economical.
I think he was saying we have the economic power, but everybody got their phone on elevator mode today. So look, let's do this. I just say that, you know how your phone always go out when you get on the elevator?
Because he's under the particular jurisdiction.
So you broke up for about 10 seconds. So you got go back about 10 seconds.
Okay, so we speaking of Greenland. And is that what y'all got me on taxes?
Yes.
Okay.
Are we speaking about the taxation? All right. Yeah. We understand that taxes. When we look at the 16th Amendment, we deal with taxes. We look at people who are employed and having jobs. But remember, I'm not gonna have this discussion right now. I'm gonna have it on another one. But we have to know that there is a difference between income, right, and wages.
Yes, sir.
There's a difference between income and wages. Many people right now are paying taxes off of wages, and they're reclassifying it as income.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna have another conversation on this dealing with taxes later. But Greenland is paying taxes because he's under the jurisdiction of the United States of America, right? Okay. He's paying taxes. But if his business was structured differently, he would be exempt from taxation. Okay. So it's all about how you understand economics. It's all to understand how you understand commerce. And as we continue to gradually grow and learn these things, we can make those small changes, and those small changes will make a big impact.
Okay. All right. Robert.
I'm not denying you get a tax break. I get tax breaks. I'm not denying. I get away with a lot. I'm not denying that part. But my point is, I'm only playing a game that they designed for me to play. I didn't institute it, but I'm benefiting from it, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, you benefited from it for sure. You benefited from it for sure. But
so
guess what?
You're saying you're doing what they let you do. And go ahead, Salik, and when you get done with this, let's let Robert jump in, and then I got a question too.
Okay. So yeah, man. So basically what I was saying was, I'm gonna leave that alone, but I will come back to it. But listen, we're having a great dialogue, man, about
very good.
a system of white supremacy. Well, I'm gonna say it from the beginning. We are having a dialogue on a system that is racism and white supremacy, and we are talking about their structure and how to change it. Wait a minute. We need to look at how we can affect it by creating our own institutions.
Exactly.
That we can play a political part into
Exactly.
it, because we're not going to change it, because it was not designed for us and it wasn't created by us. You better go back and start reading the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, son.
Right.
Okay, you better go back and understand the formation of the United States, on its origins, on when it was established. Okay, and then you better go back and look at the 1868 African what is it called, the African Nationalization Act, meaning that you were offered second-class subject citizenship into a jurisdiction that wasn't your own.
Right.
So we better stop acting like we know and we don't know, and start to know.
Exactly.
Okay, because you are subject citizens under the 14th Amendment, under a jurisdiction that was not your own, through your ancestral lineage, your indigenous tribal governments, and your own political governments. You are a part of another government. So you're gonna come in talking about you going to change something? No, you're only going to change something through selective incorporation, meaning that you have minimal rights. That's why the Bill of Rights don't apply to said African Americans. It only applies to natural born citizens, white people. I'm done with it, man. Let this brother go ahead. Go, Prince. Go, brother.
Ooh, okay, Professor. Hey, he been on this horse all night. Right.
He's right, though. I mean, what he's saying is 100% authentic. There's nothing false about what he's saying.
Okay, here, let's let Robert get in. Robert, what are your thoughts? What are things that you want to add? What are things that you want to put into the conversation? And then after that, we'll go ahead and we'll roll on to the next subject and we'll wrap it up. Go ahead, Robert.
All right.
So basically, I don't know. Salik, man, all due respect, it's like almost like sometimes it's like almost like a contradiction sometimes in things you're saying.
Point it out, son.
Yeah,
point it out, son.
Yeah, I'm working, but it's almost like you're saying that you think that we should, if it's a white supremacist government, if it is indeed a white supremacist government, and there's no opportunity for us to change it at all, then what makes you think that creating our own entities within the sovereignty of that government will ever be allowed?
Wow.
You said it right there.
You
said the sovereignty. It's sovereignty. What is sovereignty?
Here, let it go ahead, Robert.
Do you know that the United States is a country that goes into sovereign nations all the time and destabilizes them and affects regime change? So what makes you think that creating a sovereign nation, if it's really about white supremacy, what makes you think that that's going to stop them? Because, we're sovereign. No, well, you're sovereign, but we got the guns. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's how the United States has always dealt with people. Okay, that's why you guys pointed that out when you said it was a corporation, that it was serving the corporation. You're absolutely right. Okay, we have seen throughout the decades and centuries, the United States, since its very formation, has allowed corporations and lobbyists to dictate policy on the government level. And how have they done that? By paying for people to come into power. Okay, and we know who they're doing that for, just about everybody, because everybody was taking campaign funds from corporate PACs, right? They were taking the monies, they were taking the corporation's money, and then they're serving the corporations when they get in office, and that's all above board. They'll tell you about it before they do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we know that these corporate lobbyists, it's all in their constitutional right to pay politicians. Politicians take the money and then they serve those corporate interests when they've gotten into office. We've seen it time and time again, right? So so say that there was politicians that were not taking corporate money, that did not owe any of their power to the fact that they took money from corporations. Say that the reason that they're in office is because they actually did serve the people and there was a track record of that. What if they don't take corporate money at this point in time either? Do you understand what I'm saying? What would that say about them? If we know who's taking the money and we still put them in office anyway, what does it say when someone is not taking the money? It says that they have a different level of political courage. They have a different level of political integrity. Okay, and you can shake your head, but I mean, we believe it when they take the money. We know they serve the interest. So what happens when they don't take the money?
Okay. Hey, right quick. Since you have the authority to show screens, basically what Robert's saying, Robert said it sounds like I have a contradiction. Okay, it's not. Well, I'm gonna say, well, all due respect, that's how you feel. Granted, and I'm gonna rebut and say that's because you have a lack of understanding on how governments become, how governments
I'm sorry.
out
So
of their.
Just to clear up my point, because I can see right there that you got me my point. My point is this: the United States goes into sovereign governments all the time.
But you said I'm contradicting.
They go into there and they destabilize. See, when they don't like you, it doesn't matter if you're sovereign or not. They pick a fight with you, they destabilize your government, and then they destroy you and what you're trying to build.
Okay.
If it's truly white supremacy, what is stopping them from doing the same thing to us?
Okay. I got you.
You know what I mean? Without military.
Okay, now listen. Okay. They are only doing this through how? Military imposed. Without the military, they don't have the arms to control and dominate.
That's right.
They don't have it. We are funding the military through our taxation. Okay.
You're saying we, but most
hold on, man.
Taxes in America are paid by white people.
Okay.
Regular middle class white people pay the most taxes.
Okay.
And Greenland, jump in when you're ready.
Yes, sir. Okay, cool. Now we know that the United States go into other sovereign nations and they do what they do. It's dominance. What did they do starting? This is wars that have been happening, brother, and we can even start way back in prior to 325 BCE, started in Egypt. Different, we can look at the history of a nation of people going into other nations, controlling and changing everything within that nation. We can see that through history. Now, if you want me to do a point for point lesson on that, I have no problem with doing that, just so we can have a bigger understanding.
I agree with you.
But okay, so when we're here in America and we're saying that indigenous governments, bro, there is many different indigenous governments already here. We have to understand that the United States came into a government foundation already. Okay, now when you said the sovereign nations, and we saying how are the sovereigns, and they're doing this, they're doing that, etc. When we look at the case, okay, it's a case called Bank of United States versus Planters Bank of Georgia. Okay, under 22 U.S. 904. I'm gonna have to send it to it, but it's 1824. It was in 1824, and it says that the courts held that as a member of a corporation, a government never exercises its sovereignty. It acts merely as a corporator. And further, that when a government becomes a partner in any trading company, it diverts itself so far as concerns that the transaction of that company, of its sovereignty, what happens? It says it be, oh shit, what happened?
You're good. You're good.
Oh, my fault. So
we're talking about the sovereignty. Go ahead.
Yeah, it says of a sovereign character and takes that of a private citizen. So that means that the government that we call in the government, which is supposed to be a sovereign nation, is doing business with corporations and loses its sovereignty and becomes a private citizen. This is why we're talking about banking and business and commercial law, because now it became a business. Why? Because they became partners in trading companies. A government is supposed to be sovereign. The United States is not sovereign. So let me just, man, that's deep, man. But listen, is it on here?
I just had something I just want to add to that. I don't know if Mr. Kelly is aware of one thing. Do you realize in Africa right now, they have more Black African billionaires in Africa than they have in America? Are you aware of that, Mr. Kelly?
Wait, say that again, Greenland. You breaking up again. It's just a spot.
How about now? Is that better?
Oh, perfect. Wherever you just was, I heard your voice in full bass,
Okay.
in theater
Okay.
mode. Go ahead.
What I was saying to Mr. Kelly, I said, Mr. Kelly, are you aware that in Africa they have more rich black African billionaires in Africa than they have in America? Are you aware of that?
Yes.
In billionaire in what currency?
Regardless,
Because I can get a
regardless
billion.
of currency.
I can get a
Regardless of
billion lira.
currency.
Hold on, I'm saying because I can get a billion lira right now, and it's not the
Hey,
same as having
brother.
a billion dollars.
Hey, brother.
I can
Hey,
have a
brother.
billion
Listen.
euros,
Hey,
and it'd be
brother.
better than having a billion.
Hold on. I
So
still have the mic. Time
The
out.
American
Time
dollar
out.
don't. The American dollar ain't worth shit.
It ain't worth shit. Exactly. Hey, brother.
But
You just prove you don't
the
know
American
economics.
dollar ain't worth shit.
Hold
Give me
on,
some
brother.
dollars, and
Hold
I'll
on,
go to
brother.
the
Hold on,
store and
brother.
get
Hold on. I'm still talking. Hold on. You just proved that you don't know economics. My wife is from Africa. I know Africa. There are more billionaires that are worth more money than these hunkies in America. Okay,
I
I'm
didn't
telling
doubt.
you.
Listen, I didn't doubt anything that you said. I didn't even say you were wrong. I just asked a billion in what currency. That's all.
Brother, these people own other countries. They're so fucking big, they own countries. What the hell are you talking
So
about?
what?
They have their
land.
own currency.
Easy for you to point out what
Right.
currency you're
What
talking.
Robert is trying to say, what is the if it's not the American dollars, what's the conversion rate on the dollar? So
Right.
what is
Brother,
the same equivalence on the money?
brother, let's put it like this. They could come here and buy these fucking hunkies out in America. That's how wealthy they are. They could buy them out a nickel
Why
a
are you
dozen.
stopping them?
Hey, Greenland, Greenland, you got to be more. All due respect to you, Elder, but you have.
Yeah.
I would like for you to be more specific and clear on when he's talking about in what currency, because every nation have a currency.
That's
That's
true.
an
But
easy.
but
That's an easy
but
I
but
question.
Greenland,
I have a
but
conversion table. I have my own personal conversion table of currencies.
but
But I'm
Greenland,
saying, yes. Go
remember,
ahead.
remember, if we understand correctly, we can pull up some data.
Yeah.
Remember, the other countries is wealthier than the United States because of their natural resources.
Of course. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. And so
Absolutely.
what happens with the US dollar? The US dollar is not worth anything.
It
What
was
happens
shit.
is because it's paper. Paper can be you can see it's all electronically generated.
Exactly.
But the money's not backed by any natural resources. So the money don't
Exactly.
even have any standing. What
It's
has standing
peanuts.
is those other countries where they have those gold, the dinars, they got it. So this is the reason why
Minerals.
you see the United States trying to impose their will on everyone because they don't want to do away with the American dollar.
And he doesn't understand that, they killed Muammar Gaddafi because he was going to help institute.
That's what I was about to bring up.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
true.
Gaddafi was going
It's
to
true.
impose a gold standard in Africa.
He was going to
Because there's not a
implode.
gold standard in Africa right now. There ain't one right now. Muammar
Well,
Gaddafi was going to
Man,
gold
this is
standard
a
in
good
Africa.
talk.
That's why they killed him.
Well,
That means
no, it wasn't a
if there
gold
already
standard.
was a gold
It
standard
wasn't.
in
Hold
Africa,
on. Let's let Robert finish, Greenland, then we'll come right to you.
Okay.
Go ahead, Robert. I'm sorry about that.
Killing Gaddafi wouldn't have done anything if there had already been a gold standard in Africa. There's not a gold standard in Africa. A lot of countries in Africa are dealing with European money, fiat money, the same as the United States, fiat money. A lot of African nations dealing with fiat money because of European colonialism. So
My God,
if they're $1 billion, what currency?
brother, let me say something. These people, they own mineral, like the gentleman said, Mr. Salik. They own land, they own minerals, they own factories, they own minerals that these crackers over here buying from them, sir.
Right.
Let me tell you something. Let me finish. Do you remember what the president of Iraq did? You know what he used to tell the United States? You bastards pay me in green currency on a forklift pallet full of money. Remember that? You know why he did that? Because he hated the United States. Africans could tell America the same thing. We want your money in fucking pallets of your green. They don't want fucking U.S. money because it ain't worth shit, like the gentleman told you. It ain't worth nothing. Africans don't want U.S. dollar. They don't want it.
What does this all mean to the conversation?
The conversation is that you didn't understand economics because of what you were talking about. The gentleman called you out on it, and I'm just reiterating.
He didn't call me out on it. Ask the question.
Or you're kind of lost. You're lost on the topic when he was telling you about corporations and how they run governments and militaries and all the powers that be. You seemed a bit lost.
All right, here, let's let Robert respond. Robert, you understand what he was talking about when he was talking about the
points?
Okay.
I agree with him, and I reiterated his point that about lobbying and about corporate control in the government and about the military-industrial complex. And so I was basically agreeing with him, and I even solidified his point with the things that I was saying. But how are you going to say I'm lost? I think you're just set out to disagree with me.
No, I'm not. No, I want to agree with you, but like I said,
what I said, what the brother said, I said the same thing the brother said.
Okay.
Robert,
So that's something that we're actually in agreement of.
right?
I think that everybody that agrees of is the way the professor broke down the way that the government is ran off of the formation of corporations.
Minus the Prince. I wish the Prince was here to hear that because he's on a whole nother level of a super fly high. What he be talking about, Prince?
All right, and here Prince might jump back on. And look, let's let everybody make their final point on this topic, and then I want to roll over into Bernie Sanders because that came up. And again, if you guys are just watching, all this derived from a group chat that we were having earlier with the four of us, the five of us, including Prince. Prince, I think, had to go.
Yes.
And we also talked about Bernie Sanders. So just so we don't go round and round, I want everybody to get out what they have to say about this topic, and then we're going to roll into Bernie Sanders because they call him a socialist as well. And earlier we were talking about socialism and all this stuff. So it all kind of ties in together. So go ahead, gentlemen.
Well, I'll finish up real quick. It's going to be short. Basically, like the gentleman said, like Mr. Sleek said, hey, you know what? We do need our own foundation of government. And regardless of how you feel about it, Robert, we do need to start from scratch to have issues and things that dealt with our own personal issues as a race of people. Being up from slavery, just from I said we're just 2 steps up from slavery, or not even a step up. We're just one stone throw away from slavery. You know, just to have a job in this country, and then you entrust a group of people to govern you and supposedly do the thing for you who don't have your interests at hand. The Republican Party or the Democrat Party, whether you want to call them progressives or socialists, they really don't have people of dark skin colors interests at hand, whether you want to believe it or not. You sound educated but slightly naive about things, Mr. Kelly. So I mean, it's telling you, they really don't have your interests at hand. And I'll just leave it at that and pass the mic over.
All right, Salik, let's get your final thoughts on this subject that we're talking about right here, and we'll move on to Bernie Sanders.
My final thoughts on this subject, okay. I think moving forward progressively, I'm gonna use that term. We have the ability to create what we need for ourselves, and I would say that in the form of government, and because we need government that governs a particular group of people who have lost their identities through genocide and denationalization. We need that to be established in the Americas. Not only just that one point. I remember Robert talking back in previous other videos he had with other brothers in discussion. And he was saying that he was Hebrew. He was saying all these different types of things that these brothers were debating on. So that let me know that he understands that there is a difference in nationality. Nationality is what? Nationality is a part of a government. You know what I'm saying? But remember, it comes down to self-identification. He was saying that, you know, these things don't work, but there's already indigenous governments here in America. Already. We already established that through other conversations. Anybody can go look them up. So, and then we need to, I think, you know, just having the education, being around brothers who are speaking like this and talking like this, so you can have, so we all can have a better understanding on what it is that we're trying to do from an indigenous perspective, so that we can create new treaties with other sovereign nations. And we deal with these issues when they come upon us in this nation. We deal with it through an international law venue. We don't deal with it through a domestic sector venue. So we have to understand the basis of our protection and the basis of our government structures, which deals with constitutions and also deals with rites of passage. So I think the knowledge that we need to try to consider to have is understanding how we can function and operate as a government, as a body politic already in this country.
Okay, and here let's let Robert go ahead and get his final thoughts on this topic at hand, and we'll roll over into Bernie Sanders real quick. And let me read this real quick. 3T says, "All right, y'all, now peace and hair grease over here. No attitudes." Said no attitudes. Let me see. Let me scroll up. There's a few good ones. Love Life says there are loopholes in the tax system. Just need to know a good tax. Just need to know tax lawyer experts. Dallas Strong. Hi, Dallas. I said her name. I said your name wrong. I said Dallas, like the city. I'm over here saying I'm in Houston, and that's not even what that's not even what it says. Let me see. We went over here. Damon York, good friend of mine, says greed. That sums it all up. Greed brings evil. All right, you guys. And so, Robert, go ahead and give your final thoughts on this subject, and make sure that you clarify everything you want to have clarified.
Well, again, there's money is the controlling factor in all this. And when you're talking about other sovereign nations and us having other sovereign nations here in America, their power is limited. They're basically at best vassal states of the United States of America. The United States of America basically has a lock, stock, and barrel controls the Western Hemisphere. That's why when nations like Venezuela choose to kick out big oil companies, because Venezuela has the largest oil reserves in the world. When they kick out big oil companies, when they pay back the international banks and say that don't worry about it, we'll provide for our people and we'll allow our natural resources to enrich our own people, and they make allies like they have with Russia and things of that nature. The United States comes in, will support regime change in that nation and destabilize their economy through sanctions. There's no reason to think that the same thing would not happen to us if we were trying to rebel against the United States system in order to create our own sovereignty, and in order to create and then to go find allies in other parts of the world to back us, especially if we're on soil that they consider their own soil. They will do whatever they can to destabilize us. Hell, as you probably know, Greeland, we can't even have organizations of our own without them trying to infiltrate and destabilize them, such as the Black Panthers, right? They try to infiltrate and destabilize those things. That's just organization. Imagine if we came in the name of sovereignty and the name of gaining power on the world, in the world theater.
Yeah.
That trust me, you would see such backlash from a country that has made it their business to do that to every place that they've had a problem with, that every person they've done a problem with. You don't want to make enemies of the United States. You see that every other nation knows when you see that red, white, and blue coming into your nation, they're going to destroy everything that they can. And they would do the same thing to us as well. But what we have seen, and what is duplicatable is everything that we have gained in the United States since slavery has been a result of brave men and women working within the confines of the government and finding opportunities for growth and for the advancement of. It has not been easy, but they have shown it to be possible. And there is no reason to think that we can't continue along that road, where even though it's hard, we still have to have courage.
Right. Understood. I give you that. You know, just one real quick, and I'm
Go ahead.
One half a second. You know, the big picture here is that you know the United States is basically the world's police. You don't want to look at it that way. They are the world police.
Well, wait. Before we say he don't want to look at it that way, let's ask him, Robert. What do you think about that?
I just mentioned how the United States involved itself in regime change wars across the world. Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Greenland.
He agreed. They are the bullies of the world. But like Mr. State said, that's because the money transfer. That's what you got to dig. See, they are the police of the world because they reap the benefits of being the gangsters and the killers of the world for these rich entities, whether it's Illuminati, the Bilderbergs, or whatever assets control the monetary system. Those are the ones that they say, hey, sick them. You know, the United States is the dog. You know, that's the K9 squad. Go sick them.
Okay.
That's it, brother.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
That's yeah, wow. It's just that wow, man, this was a good one, but you know, I don't want to prolong it. But you know, it just comes back down to just understanding, man, that you know, you can't be afraid of the big bad wolf. It doesn't matter. And even though infiltration happened, all these things happen. I'm not gonna be I'm not gonna be a German Shepherd on social media or in the public, but then when the night owl wolf come out, I tuck my tail up between my legs and I just submit. I mean, we got too many people paid off, man. We got too many people too many people paid off to work the establishment. This is the reason why you see infiltration. This is why you see the rising of someone like Minister Louis Farrakhan speaking the way he speaks, man. You have to listen to some of the things that he say. You know what I'm saying? But you got to understand the level of protection, brother. If you don't understand FOI, fruit of Islam, military arms, boy, that means guess what? If it go there, it go there on U.S. soil. Blood for blood, brother.
That's right.
So you don't understand organizations that they form for government in operation. So don't ever get it twisted. We ain't never getting it twisted. But okay, but you know, I'm gonna let Robert do his thing. But understand, but before we transition, you understand my pedigree. Understand Professor Salik pedigree is that
I'm with you, baby.
Guess what, brother? I'm not afraid to die or not afraid to be killed. And I'm not afraid to kill because we have to understand that in war, there's casualties. In weak niggas, it's going to be a casualty. So guess what? We understand that there's going to be something that's going to be bye-bye. That's all a part of war, brother. So what side of the fence you going to be on?
You got to take a stand, baby. You can't be afraid for transition if transition is your mission.
But remember, he was Christian, so he got to stay in the confines of white daddy to some degree.
All right, hold on. Now we got it. We
honestly think
gotta let it
going to take
respond.
on the United States militarily and win.
Man, you thinking so far. You thinking so far North Pole. You gotta think so far. You gotta think so far. We ain't talking about that. We talking about domestic intervention. We're talking about within the system here of creating and formulating structures and governments so that we can thrive. You talking about going over here and paying a medical bill and going to go see a medical doctor and getting some pharmaceuticals. We're talking about having holistic and indigenous institutions for Black people dealing with our lives, dealing with our remedies holistically, so that we don't have to take these medications and die. We're talking about curing diseases and surviving. So we're talking about a whole different type of structure. You want to go see the doctor and get some pills prescribed. I want to go see somebody that's going to get the root cause of my disease and help me survive and live through my situation. I want to get a cure. I don't want to get a treatment. I want to get a cure. So we have to understand that we have that capability. Do you understand who we are in this nation, man? How come they are working so hard to suppress us out of everyone else? You got to understand the power of our Blackness here in America, brother. And you know, you're brilliant. Imagine 20 minds like you, 20 minds like me, and everyone else. We are so brilliant, man. We have power, brother. Power is in the people. Power is in the people, and power is not in corporate. Power is in the people, man. And people are the sovereign of the nation. Peace.
All right. Hey, you guys. We had somebody suggest that everybody read a book called The Color of Law. And it is a very good book. And I would also suggest that people read it here. Let me show you guys what it looked like just in case you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I'll go pick up on it. Let me see it. Okay, I'm going to go grab that. Yeah.
All right. All right, Dallas Strong.
Who put that out there? Who said that?
Dallas Strong in the comments told us she suggested that everybody read The Color of Law. And
So
so,
what's her purpose for that?
And Prince is back, man. Prince just showed up.
yeah, just for information, I think just for information, it's just a book suggestion that we read that I
Yeah.
think she thinks we'll all get something out of. And I've read it. It is a good book.
Most definitely.
Prince is back, and Prince, you back right on time. I said, Prince, jump on because we are about to talk about Bernie Sanders, and then we're gonna wrap it up. And I'm gonna start with you, Greenland. Bernie Sanders, is the stuff he's saying, is it a pie in the sky? Is it obtainable? Would you
You
vote
know
for it?
what? You know, this is the funny part about Bernie Sanders. He recently got called out for doing some fraudulent stuff financially because I think he speaks with a forked tongue. And it's easy to say what he wants to give. But he actually doesn't have a platform of how to do the things he suggests. And that's kind of frightening. And just to say, let's tax the rich.
Your phone went down again, Greenland.
Oh.
It goes real high pitched for sometimes.
How about now, brother? How are we now?
The same thing.
Oh, man, what's it showing? I'm kicking butt, but I don't know what's happening.
I don't know what's happening either. It say that you got bandwidth. Maybe your speaker check. Go ahead, say something.
How about now? How's that, bro?
It's still a little high pitched, but if you get a little closer and talk, we can hear you. It'll just be high. It won't be your trouble.
Every time Prince shows up, I go whack.
Every time Prince show up. But we hear you good now, Prince. You got his phone. Stuck. Go ahead.
You got to get off that flip phone.
Prince be killing me. Oh, that's cool, brother. I ain't got that. I got a brand new phone, man. Anyway, long story short,
Brand new BlackBerry.
Bernie Sanders. No, man, I don't mess with BlackBerry. Bernie Sanders, man, he talks a real good agenda, like he's going to really do some great things. But at the same time, he's speaking from his platform, his base, that he thinks. Frankly, what I think is going to happen is all of these people are just going to help institute Trump another easy victory because you got too many people rebelling against this whole socialist concept.
Greenland, you're gonna have to move areas or something because we could barely hear you. It sounds like the Chipmunk musical when you're talking for some reason. There you go. Say something.
Okay. I said Bernie Sanders, his ideas really don't resonate as far as the masses. He doesn't resonate. I'll just leave it like that. He doesn't resonate.
So he doesn't resonate with the masses.
No, not really. Not really.
Friend of the people, Bernie Sanders, is the stuff that he wants to implement, is it pie in the sky? Is it something that he's just saying to get elected? Is it possible? Or does he have a real tangible agenda? What are your thoughts on Bernie Sanders?
I get he's a bit conservative, socially and economically. You might not be aware of the fact that Medicare for All, actually more than half of Republican voters, more than half of them actually are in favor of a single payer healthcare system, which is the base of a Bernie Sanders platform. So 80% of Democrats are for single payer, but 60% of Republican voters are for single payer. The reason that you would say that it doesn't resonate is because you have been listening to what politicians say about single payer. That you would agree with me are paid off by private health insurance companies. Private health insurance companies will be damn near non-existent if Medicare for All single payer healthcare was to pass. So those people are calling on every ally that they have in government to speak out against single payer healthcare. But to say that doesn't resonate with the people, that simply is not true. Secondly, another important piece of Bernie Sanders' platform is to get out of regime change wars. You just agreed that the United States acts as the police force for the entire world, going into regimes that they don't belong and destabilizing countries and overthrowing governments. Bernie Sanders would put an end to that and that's the platform he's also running on. So so the things that you really care about and the things that you really think are important, Bernie Sanders is actually agreeing with those platforms. You are actually more of a Bernie supporter than you actually think you are. You're so quick to dismiss him because of what you're hearing in mainstream media, when in actuality, things that he's talking about implementing are the things that would benefit your people. I think that you are a person that is over the people. So when we're talking about giving people free public education through their bachelor's in college, and we're talking about giving Medicare, which again, 30 million people do not have health care in the United States. 60% of those people that don't have any kind of health care, they're minorities. 60%, even though minorities only make up 40% of the country. So that would actually, if you want to help Black people, you would get behind the single payer healthcare system. You would get behind free college. Over 33% of the people in the U.S. Army are African American. So if you're talking about an inter-regime change wars, you're talking about helping Black people. So if you are pro-Black, you want to get behind progressive policies instead of speaking out.
Okay, can I do a quick rebuttal, Tyrone, real quick?
Yes, you can. And for some reason, again, I don't know what happens, but we can't hear you. We can hear you, but it's real high pitched.
How we doing now, brother?
It's the same. What kind of if you have an Android, you might just have to turn your phone the other way. Is it on speaker?
Yeah, I'm on speaker. It automatically turns itself on the speaker.
Okay, well, go ahead.
What I was going to say was this. I am for medical for everyone. I think that is a very viable thing that everyone, I think that's essential. That's essentially what everyone in America needs, medical insurance. But the problem what we're facing is the two-faced politicians that you think are on your side, they're not really on your side. They don't want that. The reason why they don't want that because it affects them financially. Bernie Sanders talks a talk. Tell Bernie Sanders to turn over his stock portfolio. Let's tell Nancy Pelosi, let's see your stock portfolio and all those other high-ranking Democrat officials. And let's see what your retirement plans consist of.
Well, Bernie Sanders has turned into
hold on, Robert. Let's let him finish. Hold on, Robert.
I guarantee you will see pharmaceuticals and all those companies that we're saying that we need to do away with. I guarantee you will see that.
All right, Greenland. So you're saying that you're for health care for all. You just don't believe the politicians. No, I don't. Okay. That's why Obamacare is failing because they didn't want to. You know, it's easy to fix this stuff. If they allow many of these companies out of state to do cross-state insurance selling, that would make it more competitive. The problem is you can only buy insurance in your home state. Think about that. That's a monopoly control right there within itself. Okay. It's a monopoly control. All right, here. Let me get Prince in on this. Prince, what do you think about Bernie Sanders? Is it pie in the sky? Do we have tangible policies? What do you think? Is it just stuff that do you not believe him? Do you believe him? Go ahead, P. And hold on. That's a nice shirt, Prince. Let me not get too far without telling you. Right. Let me not forget. That shirt clean, man. All right. Go ahead, P.
That nigga just got off work, man.
I like that, Prince.
Hey, but the shirt clean though. Style.
Appreciate that.
That's my shirt.
And he said it's my that nigga Salik sized me up like you about a medium. I can't fit in it. I'm a L, nigga.
Not even a double L, man. I'm a double L myself.
Oh, you a double L? Yeah. No, I'm a medium. I'm a medium.
Big dog. Go ahead, P.
I'm
and 3T said, what is Bernie gonna do? Go ahead, P.
So I mean, to say that you think somebody won't be able to do something is one thing, right? I'm not gonna argue with that because that's your opinion, and we don't know until you know what I'm saying, until the person gets in and we can see what happens, right? But if you are looking at a politician and you can look at their track record, right? And they, I mean, and not to say, I mean, the worst thing Bernie did was sign the crime bill, right? That was the worst thing he did. And but it was funny because he was one of the only politicians to go to the Senate floor and argue against it, but he still voted for it because he said that it was some other provisions in there, blah 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 blah. And so I gotta take him at his word because he doesn't have a track record of doing shit like that. You see what I'm saying? To me, it's real easy. It's not real hard to just look at a person's track record and be like, okay, what were they doing? Like, and if he was doing those things, if he was double dealing and he's taking money from this group of people and it got this private interest group of people supporting him, then I would understand Greenland and anybody else's apprehension as far as like what he would be able to do or what he'd be willing to do, right? Is concerned. I totally would be on their side because that's all I do with every politician is I just look at their track record, the ones that I can. If they've been in office, I look at what they actually did, and I'm like, okay, how did they vote? What policies were they trying to get passed? What bills were they trying to get passed? So on and so forth. So to me, it's real easy. He's been in office for 40 fucking years. Go look it up. Like you don't know? Go look it up. You want to see what type of person he is? Go look it up. To me, to question his character at this point is pointless because it's too much proof to prove that he doesn't have an agenda that is one that is against the people. See what I'm saying? His overall agenda is for the people. Overall, there's way more proof of that than the opposite. I don't care what little or one off you could try to point out and be like, oh, I saw him do he didn't answer this question right or what are cool. But his track record will tell you something different. So as far as I'm concerned, I think Bernie is the best option right now. I think he's perfect? Nope. I disagree with him on certain stuff. I wish he was harder on certain stuff and so on and so forth. But he is by far, next to Tulsi Gabbard, probably the best politician that we have right now, pushing the agenda that will benefit Black people the most. And that's actually viable. You dig what I'm saying? Like one that actually can win. And also, if you look at the polls will tell you that Bernie is leading Trump in every major poll. So to say that he can't beat Trump is a lie. I mean, according to the polls, it's just there's no evidence to support what you're saying. Second, and thirdly, the typically speaking, the older everybody's 49, 50 and up, they think like Greenland. They think like him. That's what they think. They watch CNN. They get where they get their information from the mainstream media, and the mainstream media is bought and paid for by big pharma and blah 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 blah. So they're telling you, oh, there's no way he can win. It's crazy. He's crazy, Bert. You know what I'm saying? But the younger people, right, 49 and under, we know what's up. We're like, what are you talking about? And here's the good thing, though. We're the biggest voting block. We're the biggest voting. You were talking about voting blocks before, Salik. The younger generation, we are the biggest voting block right now. Everybody 49 and under. See what I'm saying? So, with that being said, more than likely, unless he gets cheated, which he probably will get cheated because that's how they did him last time. If he doesn't get cheated, Bernie will win. If he wins, and if he wins the nomination, he'll smash Trump in a head-up election. That's over. It literally took.
When you finish, okay.
It literally took Trump to run against the worst candidate ever in American politics, which was the most disliked candidate ever, which was Hillary Clinton. And they propped up Trump, right? They propped up Trump. There's emails to show this. They said that we need to make Trump the front runner. We want to make Trump be the one to win it because we can beat Trump. We can't beat Kasich and we can't, whatever. They wanted Trump. They asked for him and they got him. And he whooped their ass. And the reason why Trump beat their ass was because Trump was saying things like, unbeknownst to a lot of Black people who weren't following his campaign at the time, all they heard was the racist rhetoric, right? Which I totally understand that because he is racist. But he was saying shit like, I'm gonna bring back jobs to America. I'm gonna bring back the coal industry. I'm going to give you. He said he was gonna give people health care for all. That's what he said. He said he was gonna end the wars. That is a big reason why he won. He didn't just win because he was a racist. There's been tons of racists. Mitt Romney was racist. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he lost. So it wasn't just racism. It was populism. And the most popular candidate is Bernie Sanders. It ain't Trump. It ain't Trump. So if you put a populist candidate against Trump, he will win or she will win. Hands down, it's gonna happen. Huh?
I don't think so.
I mean, we know you don't think so, though, but you have no evidence to support what you're saying. You're just saying you don't think it. I'm telling you that the polls say something different. You have no evidence.
I'll give it to you right now.
Go ahead, Greenland.
Okay, here's the thing. That was very long, by the way, but that's cool. But the thing is, here's the thing, brother. Donald Trump didn't just win
because of his rhetoric. Donald Trump won because of the backlash of Obama. A lot of white people in this country were just fuming that we had a Negro president, and that woke up the dead ass crackers who vote. And that's how Trump won. So don't get it twisted like he got propped up. No, he didn't get propped up. He woke up the crackers that hadn't voted in 25 to 30 years is what he did. And whether you want to believe it or not, you research, you find out.
If I could just interject.
There were certain districts that Obama just cremated his opponents previously. Hillary fell flat on her ass in the same district.
I could barely hear him, man.
Yeah, I could barely hear you too. But go ahead, friend of the people. And then
Can you hear me now?
It's still, I don't know. You got your phone. You got the chipmunk filter rolled or something.
How about now, man? Come back here.
No, it's the same. You go in and out.
Okay, I'll just listen up. Whenever Prince shows up, I go flat.
No, it ain't Prince. I can see it. It's your bandwidth. When you
I'm being funny.
Yellow.
I'm being funny on that.
All right, see, Prince, he joking on you a little bit, but he just playing. Go ahead, friendly friend of the people, and then let's go to Salik, and then we can get some final thoughts on it.
Yeah, I'll just be real quick. Basically, the reason that you're absolutely right, the reason that Trump won, Prince. First of all, Prince, you were right on the money, but it was a direct indictment on Obama, but not because Obama was black. Okay, people.
Because of his policies.
Obama was a terrible president.
He was a terrible president because of his policies, not because he was black. Yep.
Obama gave us a right-wing healthcare program.
Yep.
Obama failed us, and he ran on change, but then he actually was the same corporate, bought and paid for Democratic corporate shill that all the rest of them were. And then and Hillary wasn't nothing but Obama light, and they threw him out. And guess who else is Obama light Jr.?
Biden.
That's Joe Biden. And now they're propping him up. And I guarantee you this: if Joe Biden wins the nomination and he beats Trump and wins the presidency, the next Republican that comes up to be the president is going to be 10 times worse than Trump off the top, because they don't and because he's Joe Biden is a right winger. Now, what makes Bernie Sanders different? Bernie Sanders is different because he is not running on the same platform as the Democratic Party has been running on for years. He's a different kind of person. He's a leader of a progressive movement that is saying end to regime change wars, Medicare for every single person in America. And he's talking about, and the reason that we know he can bring those changes because, again, his track record speaks for itself. He fights for single payer in his home state of Vermont. He fought for single payer for decades. He was decades ahead of the things that we're talking about for now. He didn't just start talking about those things. He's been talking about these same subjects for the past 30 years. You can go back and he's been saying the same thing over and over consistently. He's been fighting for the same things over and over consistently. Okay? Mm-hmm. He doesn't. Why would he all of a sudden? He's 80 something. He's 77 years old. He's too old to just change up. You understand what I'm saying? He's been the same thing the whole time. And
he's half dead.
Huh?
He's half dead. He wouldn't even live long enough enough. He's too old to be president.
No, here we go. More excuses.
Here we go. But you probably voted for Reagan. Here we go, but you probably voted for Reagan.
Hillary 70 years old, Biden 70 years old, Trump 70 years old, but Bernie, he's half dead. Okay, cool.
Now we need somebody your age, Prince. We need youngsters up in there to run stuff, bro. Come on now.
I'll be honest with you. They wouldn't. I wouldn't mind running for president. I wouldn't run for president. Actually, I would run for something way more like some civil servant type shit.
Hey, with that shirt, you will win.
And we can put Salik in there. He'll help educate the country a lot quicker.
A lot quicker. Hey,
hell yeah, real education though.
Speaking of Professor Salik, Bernie Sanders. What do you think? And then after this, I got just a quick question for you guys. You guys know I throw in the curveball every now and then. Pete, just try to hold on for the curveball. I think you're going to like it. Go ahead, Salik.
Man, what I think about Bernie Sanders. Here's my truth to that statement or to that question. I don't have a feeling about Bernie Sanders.
Whoa.
But since everyone's talking about Sanders, Sanders has been a part of a lot of political movements, social movements, and he has been seen in the 80s and 70s a lot dealing with Black institutions or Black uprising or rights or things that can
Civil
benefit
rights causes.
Right. Things that will benefit the said minority. So you have been seeing him in those things like that, passively progressive, and you see him in and out. You've seen him also in some things where he was also being arrested or being a part of I'm not sure if he was arrested, but being a part of those movements, man, were very controversial.
It was a sit-in, and it was a sit-in at his school, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And he like chained himself with like a gang of Black women, and that's where that picture where he was getting like carted. That's where it came from.
Well, I'm talking about stuff that happened like it was I know he did something about a month ago with somebody. Well, let's
no. This was in the '60s. This is the black and white picture of him getting. Yeah, it was at his school, and it was like nurses or something like Black nurse. I can't remember exactly what it was. A gang of Black women, and he handcuffed himself to the Black women. They had to sit in somewhere in like a public facility, and they tried to kick him out, and he was like, "Nah." They were all like, "No." Then they arrested him and arrested everybody else. But that's where that picture came from.
Okay, so I think he knows how to play politics like all other politicians. They play on they prey on the needs of the communities and the public, which is the people, and they find themselves in niches, what we call cuts. You get a cut and it's a wound, and all this, and so you get a virus that gets itself laid in that little cut, and they kind of sit in the cut until they get poured on with peroxide. So he's one of those guys, man. He kind of waits around and plays his part and goes into cuts. Where there's a wound, he goes inside of it. You know what I'm saying? And so he's doing what all politicians do. But however, since we all made a distinction that we know that politicians are ran by that political party via Republican Party, Democratic Party. They're not independently ran. Bernie Sanders is not an independently ran candidate. He has to follow the agenda of his political party. He may have a different direction or perspective or the way that he's communicating to the people. Why? Because he's trying to get the people to side with him.
Right.
But he is a part of an establishment. Don't get it twisted.
Right.
He understands his origins as a Jew. He understands his political position in his political arena. So we should not. Well, I'm not gonna say we should not, because people are living through different life frequencies and vibrations, and they are adapted to things because it emotionally connects to them. Cool, I get it.
He playing a game, Salik. He playing a political game.
I'm just calling these things for what they are, man. And he may.
I have a question for you. Just a question for you to answer.
Okay.
What political party? What political party is Bernie Sanders a part of?
Hold on.
All right, and look, while he doing that, Prince, let me ask you a question real quick.
Yeah.
I just trying to find out if this the picture you was talking about. Is that it?
That was it. Yeah, he like chained himself. He been arrested multiple times, but that was when he chained himself to the I forget exactly what it was for. I want to say it was like something with Black nurses or something like that. But yeah. And this was and just to be fair, this was before he was a politician, and he never planned on being a politician. If you look at his
that's what I was going to ask you, if he was already a politician.
Nah, he was in college. He was like a vagabond, like he was wandering. He just felt compelled, to like some white people did, like they was like, it's fucked up, and he wasn't, and he tried to do what he could do. So he put his body on the line and did what he could do. So it's just, to me, I hear that a lot, like what Salik is saying, and I hear that from a lot of intelligent people too, who I honestly respect, because I respect Salik a lot. And I got another friend of mine that said the same thing. Like, I asked about Bernie Sanders, and they just like go to this default of like, he white, I don't trust him. And I'm like, see, we gotta. I mean, like, hey man, as much as on a macro level, I give you that all day. Like, right, like as a group, I don't fuck with white. Like as a group, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like white ideology. I don't identify with none of that shit. Whatever, I'm cool. I'm good. I don't fuck with their religion. I don't eat their food. I don't listen to their music. Like, none of that shit. Like, that ain't what I'm about, right? But individually speaking, if you could, like, in this particular case, like I said, looking at him from a political standpoint, it's like looking at like when we're talking about politicians, you could rate a politician like you rate an athlete or a basketball player, right? So they have like, you see what I'm saying? Like, there really is no need to argue and say like, well, I think this person or that person, or I think his agenda is this or that. If you think he's an establishment candidate, then you should be able to prove it through how he voted and the laws he was trying to push. If he wasn't pushing those laws or voting that way, then how can you be like, oh, well, he's an establishment candidate? Because it doesn't. His actions don't say that. His actions say something different.
All right. Hey, want me to go ahead and finish up what I was talking about?
Yeah, go, Salik. I'm sorry. I thought you was done. My bad, bro.
About to go, and everybody else about to go. And so I was asked a question from Friends of the People. What candidate party Daddy Bernie is running with? He's a Democratic Party. He runs with the Democratic Party.
Right.
Okay.
He's an independent.
Okay.
No, he's not. No, he's
not.
not.
Man, listen, man. You can have that debate. You can prove that later. But however, he is under the Democratic Party.
Yes, he is.
Okay. He's under the Democratic Party. If he is an independent party, I would like for you, Friends of the People, to prove it that he is running an independent. He's an independent candidate, and he is not controlled by either party. Show us.
I will when you.
Okay, no. Okay, hold on. No, you will. You gonna do it before we leave the. You gonna do it before we leave the show. I know that much. And check this out.
Oh, don't worry. That's easy money.
Okay. All right. Check this out. All right. Easy money. Okay. So let's listen. So because I want to learn something through the process. I'm only just talking. So just listen to me right now. I listen to you. I didn't say nothing.
Yep.
So you asked me what party he's running with.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, what party is he from? What party is he a member of? That's what I said. What party? Is he not a part of the American political party, which is the Democratic Party? He is not a member of the Democratic Party. No, he's not.
Oh, he's not.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Let me move on forward. If he's not, then I'm wrong. But when he prove it, then I can eat that and I can learn today. Appreciate you. But let's look at what we were talking about.
I would like to say something when I get a chance.
But y'all talked about Bernie for a minute. So y'all
1 second, Greeland.
I can't even get through.
1 second, Greeland. Let's let him get through, and then Greeland, you could come on the end, and then we'll give everybody a final thought. And I just want to ask you guys one question. I got something that I really want to ask y'all. So go ahead, real quick. Go ahead.
All right. So y'all asked me the question. So I'm telling you about Bernie. I say, he's in the cut. He's doing his thing.
Yeah.
So, and then I go on and I go on and say this. Moving forward, that these candidates, in some fashion or in all fashions, have to have financial backing. There has to be establishments paying into their campaigns, because when we look at presidency, what happens? Financial success wins. Everybody's paying into a campaign. They don't have these campaigns without financial stability. There has to be people pouring money into these candidates.
That's right.
And
but we do though. Right.
So
that's right.
So let's go back to this. I'm just going to give a little information. I'm not even going to give a lot, man. I hold my juice for another conversation. It'll be a little bit more on the incline. We have to look at the CEOs of corporations, what we can call them primary dealers to the Federal Reserve. if you look at, I'm gonna give y'all some Jews. I don't want to give it to y'all right now. If you look at the open market operation and discount window, there are corporations that run 95% of everything in the United States because they buy all of the government's debt. From mortgage marketing, from energy marketing, from technology marketing, the military industrial complex, the prison industrial complex, the food industry, your municipalities, your courts, your states, your federal corporations. It deals with all these things called bonds.
It's real.
It's bonds. This is literature that may be too far above some of the minds right now, but this is a basis, man. This is good information. So you have to look at that. Now you say, God damn, if this is so, these corporations is buying up the debt and they own or run the corporation, we have to go back to and look at how much money affects elections, how much money goes into winning elections. Millions and millions of dollars.
Yes,
when we look at President Trump and when he was running against what's her name? Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton, right? This was in 2016. They were running. They were running up. They're all Democratic Party, right? Or Democratic nominees. She was a Democratic nominee, right?
Yeah.
Dude, she spent over 1.6. I mean, over $1 billion.
Over $1 billion, yeah.
And you have other candidates that poured into it. They spent over billions. It went over almost 300 billion. So we have to look at the finance. We have to look at the financial market. Who are the corporate CEOs who are paying for these governments to also win? Because when Bernie gets in office, he has to pay the well, he has. Well, I'm not gonna say pay. He has to own up to the obligation that was agreed to by these corporations, because everyone has an agenda that they want to meet. So if he sounds like he has a particular direction he's going in, then guess what? I'm going to put money behind him because he's going to help my energy market.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So if therefore, if Bernie falls out and he doesn't do what he says he's going to do, then guess what?
They kill him like they did
Come
Kennedy.
on, man.
But
hold on. But I'm gonna end it with this.
Okay.
I'm gonna end it with this. So that's my analysis. What I want to just bring to the table, dealing with Bernie. So you asked me how do I feel? I don't feel anything about Bernie. You don't do what Bernie does.
But Salik, the only problem with your theory, which everything
it's not
is
a theory. Wait, hold on.
Listen to it.
So your theory is about Bernie, not about the politicians in general, because what you're saying is true 100% when you talk about almost every other politician, right? Because they get the money from the corporations. Everybody knows that, right? So how like Obama, I'm gonna give you my quick Obama story, right? So the reason why
Bernie.
No, I'm to your point. I'm saying,
and we're gonna come to you too, Greeland. I know you had something you wanted to say.
So the reason why I never voted for Obama was because in 2000 and whenever I think it was 8 or whenever he ran or whatever the first time, all I did was look up who was funding him and who was funding Hillary and who was funding I forget the candidate at that time, whoever the Edward, whoever Edwards or whatever. Yeah, whoever
John Edwards.
John Edwards, boy. Yeah, whoever the other candidate was. I remember I looked it up. I literally just went to openseekers.com and I just looked up who was giving them money. And lo and behold, the same people that was giving Edwards money was the same people giving Hillary money, was the same people giving Obama money. And guess what? I didn't vote for Obama, and I never did. And I was like, cool, that was easy, right? Easy money right there. I'm like, boom, you don't got to vote for him. Now, you want to apply that same train of thought to Bernie. Here's how it works. He gets all his money from small donors. He doesn't take PAC money. He doesn't take corporate money. See what I'm saying? So and that proves even more why I'm saying, I'm like, well, he's not beholden to corporations because he didn't get his money from a corporation. He got his money from you and me and the nurses and the teachers or whoever supports him on the He gets small money donations, $27 a piece, man. You go look it up all day long.
Guess what? Hold on. Hey, Greenland, hold on. Right quick. bouncing
Yep.
off of what Prince just said.
I want to kill him too on that
Prince, no, cool. Because I never said that Bernie took money. I'm saying how these things work when you look at primary dealers to the Federal Reserve, you look at the corporate structures and how they are funded. He said independently. Now we can go back and watch the video. You shaking your head, but I never said he was funded. Did I ever say Bernie
Robert,
was
I'm gonna
funded?
give you the last
don't
word,
get it
Robert.
twisted, homeboy.
So keep
I gotta
everything
mute
you
my
want to
mic
say.
for that. Yeah.
But what Prince was saying though, Prince, thank you for that, brother. Thank you for explaining your perspective on it because of what you have done in your research and what you saw for your eyes. I appreciate that, King. 100%.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me jump in right
let
quick,
this little scent
and then
nigga go.
I'll be done.
Go
And
ahead, Greenland, and then we're going to give Robert the final word on this subject. And then I got one question I want to ask you guys. It'll be super quick. Go ahead, Greenland.
Okay, now this is going out to Mr. Prince Hayes right here. You know, I don't know if you know the stages of elections, but you know it's true. Bernie, he does get a lot of contributions from millennials like yourself. But when it gets into the second and third stages and final stages of those things, all of those bastards to get PAC money. Okay, whether you know it or not, that fucker can't make it without PAC money, and I'll prove it to you because I got documentations. You cannot make it without fucking PAC money. It's impossible. It's
$27 ain't gonna work.
It's impossible to make it without PAC money in the end. Here's the reason why. Because it's designed for them to have to get PAC money. You know who instituted that PAC situation? They voted for that years ago because they felt like it was too unfair the way the Democrats did it. The Republicans created the PAC situation. You know why they created it? Because they knew they can get dumps of money. And Bernie, they fought and he got the same power too. He could get dumps when you need dumps of money.
So can we do this then? Since it's on record. So since it's on record, let's do this. I'll bet y'all whatever y'all want that when the general elect, because he already said he's not taking corporate PAC money. So when the election comes, I guarantee you he ain't gonna take corporate PAC money. So when he doesn't do that, then will you guys vote for him? like you know what I'm saying? Like
okay, I hear you.
And I'll vote for whoever you want to vote for. I'll go with it. I won't vote. I'll stay out. I'll do whatever the hell you want to do. If Bernie Sanders takes $1 from a corporate PAC when the general election comes, I will do what I get on here. We can have a whole hour. Y'all could just call me stupid, whatever the hell. Say I fell for the okie doke and all that shit. But if he don't, y'all gotta vote for him.
I'll tell you what. If he runs against Donald Trump and he don't get PAC money, he's gonna swallow his ass like a guppy.
Yeah, once again, you're just moving the goalpost. I don't care about that. That's irrelevant to what I'm saying.
If he ends up, this is how it works. Once you end up the front runner, the PAC caucus.
Hey, your phone went out again, Greenland. I don't know what's wrong with your phone. Yeah,
how about now, brother? Am I back in? How about now?
It's the same.
Oh man. Okay.
You got that chipmunk filter. I'm telling you, you gotta stop hitting it.
And by the way, I'm not a millennial, just for the record.
Technically you are.
I just look,
Technically you are.
The Prince is like 45. Now I'm just playing. Go ahead.
I'm drunk.
Okay, I won't label you as a millennial if you don't want to be that.
I think he's Generation X.
Yeah, I'm Generation X. That's technically
I'm
what
a
I am.
dinosaur, so that's why I say you're millennial. Well, anyway, the bottom line is, super PAC money is something that automatically gets unlocked. It's like a safe. Once you escalate to the next level of an election, there's new funds that become just like Donald Trump. Once he became a real contender, he started getting national security like the presidential security. So what I'm trying to say is, once you get to a certain level in the election process, your PAC money automatically gets unlocked for you. Now, whether or not he can camouflage it and make it look like it's not PAC money, that's another story. But
you can't camouflage it. You can't camouflage it.
There's no way.
You just said if you can see it, everybody can see it.
Everybody can see it, man. You can't camouflage it. It's gonna be. You go to OpenSecrets.com, it'll tell you where the money came from.
He's gonna get money. I tell you that for real.
Hey, Greenland. Hey, Robert, Greenland.
Yes, sir.
Oh wait, hold on. Let Robert go right quick.
All right, well, here, no. I don't want to go too far because I like what Prince put on the table. He said if y'all don't find out that there's no PAC money,
I like that.
will you guys vote for Bernie? I just want a shirt like Prince's. I don't, I'm not in the bet, but hey, right here. But
I tell you what.
No, Greenland.
Yes, sir.
I gotta answer that question. All right. If Bernie don't take no PAC money, I wouldn't mind voting for him only under the conditions that he has an allegiance to the Black people in America through some type of form of organization that we can hold his ass accountable. If we're doing it individually, he gonna look at you and say, "Kiss my ass, Black folks. Thank you for the vote. Fuck you."
Yeah, pretty much.
So all I'm gonna say this: if we don't have nothing to hold him accountable for under a structure, if we all individuals, how are we going to win? We can vote for him, but what is the structure? What is the thing that's put in place that we can hold him accountable? And what is the machine that's going to financially fund him together under the Black dollar? If we don't have it, then I would just suggest you create one so we can help you fund Bernie. If you don't have one, just shut up.
He's gonna need it.
That's cool. That's a caveat.
All right. Well, here, look, let's do this. We done talked a lot about Bernie. We done went on and on. It's a lot of stuff that we can look up. Robert, I'm not gonna wake no more because I know that you've been holding in what you want to say. You've been listening to a lot. I've been watching your body language. And what I'm doing right now, I'm really messing with you because I know you ready to say what you want to say. And so I just keep talking and talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. But no, Robert, go ahead, give us your analysis, give us your thoughts, sum it all up, Robert. Don't let these guys just do you like that. And then I got one question after.
You're not doing me like that because Prince basically zipped the body bag up on these cats already.
Ooh, zip.
Everything that y'all said that y'all have a problem with in politics, Bernie is already the anti. He's already the representative, the anti of that. You have a problem with money in politics. He doesn't take corporate PAC money. You have a problem with people not having health care. He wants Medicare for all. And that's the main part of his platform. You have a problem with America being a policeman for the world. Guess what? He's against regime change wars and wants to pull America out of regime change wars, cut the military budget, and use it and bring it to use it to bring prosperity back to Americans. So the things that you've already complained about in this whole thing, he's the anti. Okay, with the Democratic establishment, this is why I was saying you're saying the Democratic establishment and what they control. The Democratic establishment voted for things like the war in Iraq in 2002, the weapons of mass destruction lie. Y'all remember that, right? Guess who voted against the war in Iraq and those weapons of mass destruction lies? Who knew they were lying? Bernie Sanders. So if you're, you know what I mean? So all the things that you don't like about the government already, he is a proven track record of going against it. He was against those things when it wasn't popular to go against those things. And now that they're popular, he's still talking the same thing about those people. He's taking his money from the people, so he's accountable to the people. You say people taking money from corporations is accountable to corporations, but if you're taking your money from the people, who are you accountable to? The people. So by the same, so measure him with the same measure that you're giving to other politicians, and you're going to see that he's not perfect. He's the best choice that we have right now when you're talking about a presidential candidate. And when you're talking about issues of that Black people go through the most, poverty, you're talking about social justice issues and reforming the prison reform, things of that nature. Bernie has always stood stalwart of one mind about it. He didn't care what anybody else from any other political party said. He did not join the Democratic establishment. He's running for the Democratic nomination because he understands that in order to bring about change in America and to get elected, third parties don't do it. Third parties don't cut it. So he's going to go into the belly of the beast in order to make change. And he's standing up tall against the establishment Democrats, against the traditional Democratic platform, and saying enough is enough of you guys acting like this. And he's standing up to them. So much so that they're creating systems to try to cheat Bernie out of the nomination, because he knows that the people want Bernie, but the establishment Democrats do not want Bernie. They're the ones cheating out. They're cheating the American people, as they always have. Why would the Democratic Party want to cheat Bernie Sanders if he was just like the rest of them? If he was just like the rest of them and the people loved him, they'd be propping him up right now. But they're not. Yep. The reason they're not propping him up right now because they don't want him to win. Because if Bernie takes control of the Democratic Party, they're going to be forced to change. And the change and the changes they're going to make are the changes that you guys have just expressed that you guys want to see in the government.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
We want to see it, but the problem is this. You know, like Mr. Salik said earlier, he said, hey, look, he said, you can't take away the international monopolized gangsters. You understand, the monopolized gangsters pay for the U.S. security around the world. Bernie Sanders can't get in there and interrupt all that cash flow. That's why they stepped him out last time.
The only reason he can't is because people with disbelief like you will try to bark that he can't. He stood up to those people time after time. And if you had the guts to stand up to those people, you would be with Bernie Sanders.
Hey, listen, man, your belief and my belief is not going to change
the brick wall. You don't have the guts to stand up against those people.
Let me finish.
To whatever they're going to give you.
Go ahead, Greenland, and then Robert, we'll let you get back on. And hey, Robert, that's a nice.
With that. Hold on.
Okay, wait. Both Robert and Prince got on nice shirts. Robert, your shirt nice too. But Pete, be one of them, man. Go ahead, Greenland.
Okay, well, Robert, what you got to understand, like what Salik was saying, the amount, I should say, the barrage of deterrent and force that's already surrounding Bernie, he's invisible to. He doesn't realize the brick wall that's going to block him from doing what he would like to do. In other words, it's more money to be passed around to his cronies next to him and everyone else in politics than to let him kill all that money to move an agenda that only he's really behind on a few others.
But Greenland, the thing that doesn't make sense about what you're saying is he's been in office for 40 years. You think he doesn't know? You think you know better than him about what he has to face? He faces these people every day. So you think you got to figure it out and he don't? Like, it's like, you know what? I didn't know it was going to be this hard.
I'm not saying, hey, sir, I'm not saying that I don't know. I'm not saying
you know.
I'm not saying he doesn't know. I'm just making a point that what he's up against is bigger than himself. And by me saying that, I'm saying that he's not even a drop in the bucket for the big agenda. I understand what he wants to do. And I would probably vote for him if, like the gentleman said, if he can have an allegiance to black people. But I know
let me say, my bad.
Oh, go ahead.
Let me say this too. We have to also understand that Trump is on the opposite side of Bernie. So Trump had to go through some of the same things as well. What Bernie's going through. He had to change up some shit. Trump went in there and changed up some stuff.
Yep.
He's on a total different playing field. But since Brother T said that he liked the question that Brother Prince posed, and then Friends of the People said that he body bagged us. Let me unzip my body bag.
Now,
I have to unzip the body bag. Because let me unzip the body bag because you're not gonna haul me away without me saying this.
Y'all stupid tonight.
Here we go.
Go ahead.
Here we go. You said that it was a good question. It was a good question. But here is another good question before you haul me away in that hearse. What political party and what establishment that will hold Bernie accountable for his actions from the black community? Name one, and I will vote.
None.
Holy cow.
None. I'm not. That wasn't. That never.
Jack
You're not about to get me to sleep. You know, I'm not lost in the sauce, baby. I'm just talking. If we talking the game, of politics,
Okay,
yeah,
I can answer the question. I can answer
Prince
the
of the
question,
people.
but it ain't gonna be the answer you want.
No,
Basically,
it ain't gonna be the answer I want, but you got to answer it because you got to find you.
Who holds? I'll tell you who holds the president accountable. Media and black people in black.
Hold on, let's listen to his answer. Listen to his answer. Go ahead, Robert.
Okay.
This is a good opportunity. It's a good segue. Black people that are watching this show right now, you need to support black media because you need to support black watchdog organizations because you need to not just black media like any kind of weird black media in the mainstream. You need to support independent black media. You need to support shows like this. You need to support Prince Hayes. You need to support people that are going to hold the government accountable, going to hold the president accountable, no matter who the president is. The people that are going to speak to the people and going to articulate the ideas and things that are going on. The people that are going to investigate, the people that are going to research, and the people that are going to that are accountable to the people. You need to You need to support them.
Yeah.
Because the mainstream media is the reason that these politicians get away with a lot of stuff that they get away with. But when you support independent black media, you're supporting your eyes and ears into the government.
So my question,
Amen. I like that.
My question still it lays to ponder because the question was, if we vote for Bernie, under what political body? Like I said this again, friends of the people. Now don't talk about my answer. I'm gonna answer, but you're not gonna like it. No, son.
That was the answer.
Okay, well that's gonna be the answer. So therefore, everybody who's listening, we support black media. That's the answer for holding Bernie accountable.
It sure the hell is.
Okay, because
we
can cause so much disruption by our votes and our protests, right? That we can affect change.
But you think we can affect change by having our own all kinds of other stuff? Why can't we have our own black media?
Hold on.
True.
Did I say anything about having our own black media? I
You
said
should
nothing like that.
You jump.
Well, hold on. You're jumping the gun. If you know me, I'm gonna say that. You're jumping the gun. Hold on, cowboy. Everyone knows that I'm for black excellence. Black media is a part of black excellence, right? This right here, Soapbox Heroes, is a black platform on a Jewish media. When we get our own servers, we will have our own black media outlets. So I'm all for that. So not misunderstand pro-black Salik. Okay. Now let's get back to the point. Is that you said that we all must be a part of black media in order to hold Bernie accountable. I didn't say anything was wrong with that. I'm just making it a public fact that a public announcement that that's what you said. So
I did.
Okay, cool. So I will roll with that. And I would just further input, I will further elaborate on top of that. I will also say, consider listeners and us on the panel to find or establish an institution that we can that will hold them accountable on a more economical and political ramification.
Let me say something. Look, you guys go crack up laughing. The National Black Caucus and the NAACP. Well, hey, why y'all laughing? Isn't that who's supposed to hold them accountable? And see everybody crack it up.
The National Black Caucus is supporting Biden and Kamala Harris.
Hey, T, you weren't supposed to do that, T. T, you weren't supposed to do that.
I know. I was just,
you weren't supposed to do that, T.
That's who's supposed to help. I just was
You talking about the National Association for Colored People? You talking about this?
Color people.
Hey, if Bernie does win, I'm gonna ask Greenland come on every week and give everybody a report on what he's doing, because I know Greenland gonna keep his eye on him like a hawk.
Yeah, he should. As we all should though. Everybody, I'm gonna be on his head.
What you say,
if Bernie Sanders win, I'm gonna drive over there and see Mr. Hayes and shine his shoes.
Oh, all right.
I like
Hey,
that.
y'all think the shirt? Hey, y'all think the shirt cool? But if I show you my shoes, you'll be like, "I'll take them off."
All right. Hey, you guys, look, real quick before we round it off, and I want to thank Green. Do you have anything else to say? Because you haven't said anything in a while, and if you do, let me know. And if not, I got one quick question. I just want to break the monotony a little bit. This haven't been a monotonous the conversation, so let me take that back. I just want to change directions a little bit. But you got something you want to say, Greenland? Just in all fairness, to make sure you got what you want to say out.
Yeah, I pretty much summed it up. I was just talking about Bernie Sanders once for the last second here. I mean, he's up against a lot, man, and I would like to see somebody like him that really had a platform of independence and are really focused on helping minorities, especially black folks. No doubt. But you need to take a visit to Long Beach, Compton, Watts, go to Chicago, go to Detroit, go to Baltimore. I want to see him get in the streets, man. I want to see him get with the roots of the broke ass poor black folks.
But he's done all of that though. Just so you know, he's held rallies in all those places you just named. He was in San Bernardino. He was in he last year. He was in LA. He was in Watts. He was in LA. I'm sorry, he's in West LA. He did. When I don't know how much closer you can get to all them places. He ain't like he can go to every single individual city.
I'm just saying. I want to see him in the trenches. Just leave it like that. I want to see him.
He's there though. He's already there. You ain't seen him because on the media they don't show you that shit. They don't show you how many rallies this motherfucker be at. They show you all the Trump rallies, right? They show you when Trump go talk to them podunk white people, right? They don't show you when Bernie is over there in the Midwest talking, and they don't show you when he in Philadelphia talking to black people, right? Because y'all we forget. Last in 2016 or 2015 when he was running, and the two Black Lives Matter girls got up there at Bernie's rally. You know what Bernie did? He gave him the mic and let him fucking talk, and he didn't say shit. And then he agreed with them, and then he changed his fucking platform moving forward because they were saying you ain't got nothing in it for us. And he said, okay, cool, check it, and he corrected it. So that's what I'm saying. Like, what you want the nigga to do, man? He ain't perfect, but goddamn, only thing I get upset with is how we just do this. It's intellectually lazy to just be like, well, that person's Jewish, he's the devil. That person's white, he's the devil. That person is old, he can't. I don't play that shit. By and large, yes, I agree. That's how I look. I mean, that's how I go through life. Of course, I know that certain people identify with certain people identify with certain groups of people. More than likely, they think a certain way. More than likely, though, that doesn't. I'm not 100% for sure, but more than likely, like I go through my life assuming that the vast majority of white people I meet are racist. I just assume that right off the bat.
That's kind of ill-fated, though. That's
that's just saying all black folks ain't Uncle Sambos. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's not though, because there's proof. I mean, based on this society, to me, there's insurmountable proof that the vast majority of white people are racist. Like, so it's easy for me to come to that conclusion, right? So that's what I think. I just assume they're racist. I don't treat them like they're racist per se. I don't like go out of my way to, run away from them or be just. I'm just saying, like, go ahead.
Well, first I want to know why you make that statement. First, I want to ask you why you make that statement. Yeah,
me too.
Because of the majority of the people that I talk to, I told you that I got friends that I talk to about Bernie, and when I ask them, I'll pull up the thread. I'll be like, hey, why don't you want to vote for Bernie? And they'll tell me, oh, he white. Oh, he Jewish. He got a Jewish. And I'm like, what the fuck? That's intellectually lazy. Like, what are we talking about here? You know what I'm saying? Like, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I don't like that. I think
we should.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no matter the race or creed, long as there is a what we call how can I say? Well, like a treaty, something that we know that, you know what I'm saying, that okay, you have my best interest at heart. We can coexist. Move progressively in something. Then you have
allegiance.
In allegiance. There we go. In allegiance. There we go.
Perfect word.
Allegiance. I'm with that too. I'm with you, bro. I see where you're going, Prince. I'm pro-black, brother.
Yeah. If he showed me otherwise, me too. I'm black. That's what I'm saying. But because I'm black first doesn't mean that I have to.
I know we're not saying that, but that's your group of people you hang with. We know in order for us to get something done. I know Prince, Friends of the People. Everyone on this panel knows that we have allies.
Yeah.
The very specific government we're talking about today has allies.
Yeah.
So, and like you said, in any black or anybody, and from any race or creed, from anyone on here, but specifically to our black queens and our kings, our brothers and sisters, brother, if y'all don't think having allies of different nationalities is important or necessary, then I think that you need to reestablish your thinking, brothers and sisters.
That's true.
Because we need allies.
Yep. It's gonna be hard to make a move in a system controlled by white people and not have white people. Like, have some white people help you. Like, that's crazy to me. I'm like, yeah, we need a handful of white people to help us out, right? So if he's one of the ones, I'm like, let's go for it. Let's vote for him. And if he's not, he hasn't shown himself to be a fucking devil. You see what I'm saying? Like, a devil is like Bill Clinton. A devil is Donald Trump. A devil. So yes, those are the people. And so you can say you disagree. You can say, yeah, I hope, but he didn't say perfectly. And I'll be like, yeah, he ain't perfect. But we're not about to sit here and argue, is a nigga a devil? No, he's not. So do I think he's good? Yeah, I think he's overall good. So let's just rock with him. That's all I'm saying. Let's rock with him until he do something differently. Then as soon as he do, I'm gonna be the first motherfucker to crucify him. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not gonna be trying to.
Okay, I hear you.
What you got?
Hold on, Robert. You got something else you want to say?
I'm waiting for the curveball you talking about, homie.
All right. In today's, you guys ready? You guys ready for this in the chat? 3 teams, you ready? D Johnson, you ready? Dallas Strong, you ready? Damon York, you ready? Everybody who watches, you ready? In today's question of, is this racist? Y'all tell me, is this racist or is this not racist? Somebody sent this to me today and said, this is racist. He's racist.
Jesus Christ, man. What the fuck is wrong with people?
You guys see it?
I see it.
So in today's version of Is This Racist, we have said Senator Bernie Sanders holding up a golden fried drumstick.
Okay.
Somebody told me that it is racist.
In front of the fucking cook that made it.
In front of the cook that made it.
So he racist because he's telling it. He's saying like this chicken bomb and this nigga cooked it, and he racist.
Okay,
that's kind of stupid. Yeah, that's stupid. That's just ignorance.
Ignorant. Okay, Salik.
When you look at this picture, you can be emotionally driven or intellectual driven. So this picture here, man, it shows a cook who's cooking chicken. He's at an event trying to establish his whatever he's establishing. But look at him, man. He's holding a piece of chicken up. Maybe it's good to him. Maybe he had that piece of chicken. And he's like, this is some good ass chicken.
It look good to me. The chicken look good. I want
this is some good ass chicken, y'all. So racist. I don't know. I think people can take words a little bit too far.
Prince, maybe he was saying, I rock with brothers. Maybe he said, look, I rock with brothers.
He ain't gotta do that.
Agree. If he was doing that, I would think that was racist. Like what Hillary was doing when she was pandering, talking about I keep the hot sauce in my purse and shit. I'll be like, yeah, that's racist. But if the nigga just at an event, like Salik saying, and he sitting next to the cook and he hold up the chicken like this shit is delicious, what the fuck you gonna do?
He just said I rock with brothers. That's all. He said, look, yeah, I'm rocking with you.
He's saying that I'm rocking with your choices of food and the taste.
I'm rocking with y'all.
Hey, he's Jewish. You know they eat the nastiest food on the planet.
If you think white people don't like fried chicken, you're delusional. They love it.
Exactly. I be seeing them all the time eating. I see them all the time. I go pass by this black barbecue spot, and matter of fact, one of my buddies own it. So I go by and see the establishment and support them, and I always see people in there, boy, that's not looking like me. So,
all day.
They love that food.
Hey, Jay Steed out there with the West Side Smokers, he'll tell you yesterday I had some fried chicken and I almost held it up too. So look,
we put seasoning salt on it and shit, nigga.
What I said when this got sent to me, I said I would need a whole lot more context before I would be able to become close to calling this racist. So look, you guys, we're gonna go ahead and end it. I want to tell everybody thank you. Greeland, thank you. Salik, Professor, thank you. Prince, thank you. Robert, always thank you. You guys Let everybody know where they can find you one more time. Robert, where can they find you? And don't be holding up a piece of fried chicken either.
Damn.
Look, wait. 3T said Tiffany Haddish and Bernie Sanders gonna make us boycott fried chicken. Oh man.
Oh, hey, can I say something? Can I say something? What Tiffany Haddish did, that was racist. that was racist.
Kamala Harris
I was like,
is more racist. Kamala Harris is more racist than Bernie Sanders.
She sure is. She really is.
Like
I agree with that.
Hey, Prince, I agree with you on that Tiffany Haddish thing. We remember we talked about it, Salik, on the show. We brought it up real quick. When you look at it, yeah, she was you know I don't use this word often, but she was cooning and buffooning. Hey, go ahead.
Coonerific.
Cooning and buffooning. You guys let everybody know where they can find you. And you guys know I don't just use that word. But looking at it, oh, come on. Fried chicken at the Met Gala and you dress like a pimp and you're like, ooh, I got some fried chicken. And girl, if you don't stop, go ahead, Robert. Let everybody know.
That chicken look nasty.
Well,
yes,
Robert Kelly, friend of the people. You can find me on Facebook, www.facebook.com/talkisWYLD. Wow. Okay, that's my URL. Look out for me coming up next month right here on the Soapbox Heroes Network. Best case scenario podcast coming straight to you, political analysis. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope to see you guys there. If you are watching right now, click the like, subscribe, leave a comment, and if you know, especially if you have something real to say. If you don't have nothing real to say, still just leave a comment. Just show your support. Say what's up. Support Black media everywhere that you see it. And so I just want to give a shout out to everybody in the audience right now. Say thank you so much for watching us, and continue to stay tuned to the Soapbox Network for more of great shows and more talk on, you know, our subjects that affect Black people. So
thank you, Robert.
Like that. Love it. Love it.
Prince Hayes, let everybody know where to find you. And you already know I'm gonna say talk about meme knowledge.
Oh yeah. So that's where you can find me at. Right now you can just hit me up, Prince. On Facebook, I'm Prince Hayes, PRINCEHAYES, just like my name is spelled right here. And then on Instagram, I am the public offender, and on Twitter, I'm the public offender as well. And I got everything set up. I just gotta you know, press click on it, press send on it, and I have everything up and running. But you know, it's just taking a little time. I don't really have the time to figure out the computer stuff, man. I'm not that computer savvy like Tyrone will tell y'all, so it'll be here soon.
Well, just call me. You know we can get it done.
Yeah.
Salik, let everybody know where to find you. And let everybody know, you know, your name and things of that nature. Hey, I call you the professor. We call you the professor around here. So let me not. Salik is your name. I understand. Professor. Let everybody know where they can find you.
Yes, peace and blessings, family. Professor Salik. Y'all can find me on social media outlets such as Facebook. I have a Facebook like page, a Facebook personal page, same name, different photo. You can also find me on Instagram, Salik YFL as well, and also too on YouTube, my own YouTube channel, Salik YFL. So it's just my name. I haven't added the professor yet, but it's coming. So y'all can find me on those social media outlets. And I love the build. I love education. I love knowledge. I love being a student. So please, anytime y'all want to come on to any of my social media sites, I don't post much, but we talked about this last time. I will be doing more posting. So that's where you can find me at the present moment. Peace and blessings. Thank y'all for watching. And
all right.
One love.
Thank you. And Robert, I've been trying to get Salik to jump on and do some stuff with us too on his own time and his own volition. Greeland, you want to take a second? And I want to thank you, Greeland. Today is your first day coming on. I really appreciate you coming on, adding to the conversation. I do want to see if you hold up your end of that bet, though. I didn't forget. You said if Bernie Sanders win, you was going to shine Prince shoes. And I know Prince might have some long cowboy boots on right now.
Nah, I got a fast shoes, though. I want to show y'all. I can't even, hold on, let me see if I can show y'all.
That's a far-fetched bet. That man don't have a chance in hell.
Hey, y'all see them the runaway slaves right there.
Django.
These is These are the chain gangs right here. I don't even know
No,
these motherfuckers.
Nah, them are the Pharaoh let my people go 2019 edition.
They,
Greenlee,
dusty.
I'm sorry.
They
I'm sorry you
dusty.
feel that way, man. I'm sorry you feel that way. But I'm not a runaway slave that's trying to get caught by a master. So I'm gonna run with a strong. I'm gonna run with Harriet. If it ain't Harriet, I ain't running with her.
Yeah, that's right.
all right, Greenlee, let people know where you can be found if you want to be found.
You can find me on Facebook at GreenleeFee.com. My company PLI Incorporated. So you can find me over there. I'm a great debater. I'm all over Facebook.
All right. Hey, I want to thank everybody for coming on. I want to thank everybody for watching. 3Ts, thank you for being the moderator. You moderator gang out there. Thank you. Jay Steed, I'll see you in a second, man. Hey, you guys check out the West Side Smokers on Facebook. They have a lot of stuff going on. It's the best cigar club out here in Houston, probably better than the one in your city. 3Ts, what you think? Dallas Strong, thank you for watching. Everybody, thank you for watching. Paper Dollhouses. And if you can, go check out Paper Dollhouses. She got some new stuff uploaded. I seen she says she got something on there. Confessions from a Single Mom or something like that. You guys might want to go check it out, see what she's talking about. But yeah, I want to thank everybody. This is Soapbox Heroes. We are out of here. Peace.